think we are running. Hello guys, welcome back to another live stream. This is only the second one of this week because I'm back at work and I've just realised my volume's all the way up and it sucks.
Right.
Oh shit.
I think.
And I can hear myself. Hello guys, welcome back to another live stream. Oh no. This is only the second one of this week because I'm back at work. And one sec, guys, I can hear my own voice.
It sucks.
Right. Oh shit. There we go. Alright. Hello. Again, I have massively messed that up. I had a YouTube video on in the background with me, so you could probably hear me twice. Alright, so back with another live stream. As I was saying, it's only the second one of this week because I have started back at work and it's tiring. So when I finish for the day, I kind of get to a stage where I don't want to stream, but it's Friday, so I figure we'll do a bit of streaming, paint some more of the Golden Throne and see if we can just, creep a little bit closer to getting it done by December, really, the self-imposed deadline. King Pignut, hello. I would not have the patience for this. Sometimes I really don't have the patience myself, I will be honest with you. It's 3 years worth of work so far, and yeah, definitely tests my patience at times, but I've sunk this much into it that I want to see it done. I want to have it finished and move on to something else, as I keep saying. I've come a little bit too far to abandon it now. Maybe if I'd abandoned it earlier, I could have got away with it, basically, but yeah, we got to see it done. Alright, let's do some cables. Day 67 of cables. You might be able to see that I have a better angle because I actually got some equipment. I got some better cables, some longer cables, so I can get a better angle of the build. And you guys can see it all come together. Hopefully everything's okay in terms of audio today. If there are any problems, just be sure to let me know. Because I know the other day I managed to mess it up and I had to restart the stream, so that was fun. I have said that it's all a bit of a learning experience for me, all the streaming stuff. But I feel like I'm gradually getting the hang of it, It's just something I guess I will get better at with time. Big Brain, hello Big Brain. No progress with the motor yet. I think we both know we're not going to see it by now. It is a dream. It's a dream that's not going to happen. Sounds fine. Excellent. All right, that's good news. Yeah, because it was a bit of a debacle last time. We started off and things did not go according to plan. I mean, that hasn't exactly happened today either. I could hear myself in the background. But yeah, as I said, we'll get the hang of it, I think. Get better over time. Fingers crossed. And yeah, eventually get some better equipment as well, because I think the camera is the oldest thing I have now, so it doesn't always pick up all of the details. But I'm working with what I've got, because the camera is the most expensive thing, and at the moment I don't have a couple of grand for a new camera, so we're making it work. I'll make it happen. I know you keep threatening to make it happen, Big Brain. You keep threatening to make it happen. There's just no point. There's nothing behind the gate. Look, see? Nothing behind the gate. Just a wall. If you wanted me to extend the throne room and make it even bigger, maybe we could put some motors on the gate. But yeah, I don't think I don't think we're going to make it any bigger. I never say never, but yeah, there's a lot to be getting on with, you know. We're what, 5 days into painting cables now, and I've just finished. Well, not even finished, but you know, this section is looking more colourful. We still need to add reds, greens, you know, we still need some washes. So yeah, you know, if we're working at this pace, there's no point in making the room any bigger. As cool as it would be. And at the moment, now it's looking like I get, I don't know, if I was going to work on it every day after work, I'd give myself, I don't know, like 6 or 7 extra hours on it. So you think that's what we're working with hobby time a week, is about 6 or 7 hours. Maybe more on the weekend if I haven't got plans. But we kind of have to, not pile too much on, I suppose. Because we have finite time. With all the time and all the resources, there would be no problem with getting it painted, you know, maybe making it bigger. But yeah, we've kind of reached the limit now with time and everything. And to be honest, as much as I enjoy it, I do want to see it done. In my head, I thought we'd probably, I don't know, I knew it would take more than more than a year. You know, I knew the project was going to be big and it was going to take some time, but I didn't think that sort of 3 years down the line we'd still be working on it. So, you know, it all goes back to, there's plenty of other things I want to do, plenty of other hobby, like pieces of terrain and stuff that I want to try and build. So I'd like to get it done so I can have a kind of clean slate and work on something else. And the only way to do that is getting this done, because otherwise I'm going to feel really guilty if I start something else. And just delay the inevitable. I did say that we were going to work on something else today. That was my original plan, but I feel like this is coming together quite well. Like, the more I look at it and the more I see the cables all painted, I can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like when it's done. And that pushes me to want to just get this part of it out of the way instead of hopping from pillar to post. Even though I do like that sometimes. Cobalt Commando 2, hello, how are we today? We are good, thank you very much. We are in the mood to do a bit of hobbying. I was just saying earlier on the stream that not much has been done this week because I've gone back to my full-time job. So time is kind of finite at the moment. And I've been getting back from work and I've just been exhausted. So streaming hasn't even crossed my mind, let alone even working on the hobby. You know, working on the project with just headphones and, you know, not streaming, basically. Thank you very much, though. We're getting there. You know, we're starting to add some colour to it now, because for the longest time, obviously, the floor section has been pretty much complete, even though I'm doing some highlighting. So I want to get this, like, big, well, the body of it done now, and yeah, start pushing it towards completion, basically. Pale Russ, hi, have a nice day, everyone. Well, I hope you are all having a nice day. It's Friday, thank God. Because it was a long week for me this week. It was a very long week, so it's nice to be able to have some time now to just kind of chill out and do a bit of painting. Yeah, and just enjoy the weekend, really. Cobalt Commando, is this based on the recent 40k Emperors vid? It's not actually Cobalt Commando. It's based on Neil Roberts' artwork for The End and the Death. He done a really nice piece for the cover of that kind of depicts the 30k Emperor sat on the throne. And what I done was I used that as a basis to kind of create this piece. And it just so happens now that with the Armageddon trailer, it's given me kind of more to think about, I guess. So, from having seen that, there are some things that I'd still like to add. Not huge things, but there's a few things that I would like to add after seeing that trailer. Because it was fantastic. And it's the first time we've seen the Emperor in a different form, I think, since Neil Roberts' artwork, sorry. And we could argue that he's moving too, so, take from that what you will. Is it 3D printed or scratch built? It is all scratch built, Cobalt. It is all scratch built. I've used green stuff. I've used sort of plastic hard. What else have I used? Thousands of pieces from loads of different kits. So yeah, it's essentially one huge kit bash. There is one big 3D printed element, which is the gate that's hiding behind me. But yeah, the rest is just a huge kit bash. King Pignut, I'm still really sad that John Blanche passed. Yeah, it's. I think that's going to be felt for quite a long time, considering that John Blanche made the hobby what it is in terms of like the stylistic aspect. And I think a lot of people are still sort of, it's a mournful period. I don't think anyone's gonna feel good anytime soon, basically. I've seen, on that note, actually, I've seen a lot of tributes to John Blanche. I've seen quite a few cool little models that have been made based on his illustrations. And I think that's a nice little homage. So I'm hoping to see more of that, because that kind of picks me up, seeing just how many people his work inspired and everyone paying kind of a little homage to him. I think it's very cool. Cobalt. Oh wow, scratch built. That is really impressive. Thank you very much, Cobalt. It's 3 years worth of work so far, and it's probably going to be the most of this year. Even though the intention is to get it done by December, we're kind of playing by ear to see how it goes. But I would like to get it done. So I'm trying to do more streams to kind of encourage myself to do a little bit of painting for an hour or two and just chip away at it till we reach the day that it is eventually done. How far along are you? I'd say we're over halfway. I mean, I did say that months ago. I was like, yeah, we're over halfway. But yeah, I think realistically it is just about halfway, considering all the details that still need to be done. Because the building itself is finished. Everything is assembled. I don't really need to stick anything else down. Maybe like a few cables here and there, but the build is done. It's just kind of the painting now. And since I'm always a bit slow with painting, so I feel like, there's still another 50% until we're finished. And I always struggle with calling something finished as well, so it might be one of those projects that will look done, but in my mind will never truly be done. So there's always that to consider as well. But I do enjoy it. As much as I kind of complain and say, oh, I want to move on to the next thing, I have 100% enjoyed working on this piece. And I would do it again. I'm not going to do it again, but if I if I was offered the chance to build this again, I would. I'd do some stuff differently, but I'd still build it again, I think. Might even be easier second time round, because I know the effort that goes into it. And I know realistically how long it's going to take. Jock, hello everyone! Halfway, 4 more years to come. No, Jock, not happening. We have spent enough time on this. We have. So we need to get most of it done. Like, even if I don't finish it by the end of the year, which is probably the likely scenario, I want most of it done. You know, I want to be able to show you guys, like, look at this. Here we go. Painted. Yeah, this tiny little bit isn't done. But, you know, I want to show you guys a mostly finished diorama. King Pignut, will there be anything on the floor surrounding the throne? I do have a selection of little gribblies. If you guys have been following the project for a while, there's a few pictures of, well, the throne in its entirety. And there's loads of little pillars and sort of ornamentation pieces that I haven't... They're all taken off for the time being, just till I get painted. But yeah, so there's going to be like cogitators, there's going to be a few... what is it? I don't really know how to describe them. I've kind of made some relic-looking pieces, I suppose. So yeah, you know, there's going to be a few bits and bobs around the throne, basically. And a lot more cables, you know, like a lot more cables and cogitators and stuff like that. I couldn't even imagine storing it. Well, it lives in this room, Cobalt. It lives in this room, and maybe there'll be a day when it's finished, and it can go somewhere else for a little bit and be put on display. But till that day, you know, it's going to live here. It takes up loads of space. One of the things I regret about making it so big is the space that it takes up, because when I want to work on something else, I'm limited, basically. Jock, 8 years project, but no motors on the gate. That's because we're not making it bigger, Jock. I said at the beginning of the stream that maybe if it was bigger, I could put motors on the gate. But there's nothing behind this wall, and I'm probably not going to put anything there. It's part of the house now. It is part of the house now. If I sell the house, it's gonna... Well, if I sell the studio, it's gonna come with the studio. It's part of it now. It's also quite hard sometimes to show you the scale of it, because I feel like on some of the videos that I've made, when I'm recording it, it looks smaller than it actually is, because, well, I don't know why, but yeah, it is huge. So I put a couple of custodies here for you guys to see, because look, they're tiny. They're tiny. And I got to paint all of it. Jock, you can put an elderly poster behind the gate. An elderly poster? What do you mean an elderly poster? A poster of an old person? I think we've established that the only way this is going to get any bigger is having a secret room behind the throne up there, maybe 2 foot by 2 foot, something like that, and have the real emperor in there, because that is that's an idea that I really like. Big Brain, I have never seen a custodian model. You've never seen a custodian model? Well, here we go. I don't know if I can get this close enough to the camera for you to see. I'm quite far away. No. He's not going to do it. He's not going to pick it up. That's awful. If I put my hand behind it. Did that really just happen on the stream? Did that really just happen? Oh no. Oh my god. I can't believe it. I'm gonna have to blame you, Big Brain. I dropped him. It's all going wrong. What popped off? Oh, his ponytail popped off. He's gonna have to live without that now. He's gonna need a head replacement. I can't believe that. What are the chances of that? It's a good thing. It's a good thing that kit comes with a lot of different heads, because I can easily just cut that head off and put another one on. But I was about to say, before I threw him on the floor, that's the 30k version of the Custodians. So you can still get the 40k ones, but they're a bit more beefy. And I feel like the proportions of these ones are a little bit more in keeping. Yeah, so they're my favourite ones. Going to use a mix of both on the project itself. But yeah, at the moment, those are my favourite ones. The real Emperor. Yes, Jock, we all know this, though. It's one of the things that John Blanche talked about, and I think he's talked about it in a few interviews he did. He mentioned how the Emperor that sat on the throne is not the real Emperor. He imagines the Emperor being somewhere else, like in a vat or a tank, being kept alive with wires, and looking a bit worse than the Emperor that sat on the throne. And I do like that idea, so I'm thinking of potentially doing something with that. But again, as I said, we have to get more of this done first. A brother had fallen. You need a small room behind the gates. No, there's going to be well, I'm saying there's going to be. I have yet to decide whether I will do the extra room. Maybe I'll see how we do. I don't know. In a few months' time, I'll assess what we've done. If I feel it's enough, maybe I will. You know. I'm still recoiling from dropping that on stream. I can't believe that happened. It's a good thing it's an easy fix. I was worried for a second that it was going to be the halberd, because they're not so easy to fix. But yeah, just the ponytail. Not a disaster, not the end of the world. Jock, I'm not heavy on the law. Space Marine could or go wah. Space Marines is something. I don't know whether I'd say good. I don't know whether I'd say there's any good. Even those people that argue that Tau are good, I don't think Tau are good. There is no good. It's all misery and mess. Okay. The elves are good, Big Brain. You mean the Eldar? I don't know about that either. I wouldn't say they're good. I'd say they're arrogant. No offense to you collecting them, but they ain't the good guys. Okay. You notice I'm getting to that stage now that I think I'm going to have to stand up soon, but I don't want to. It's nice to be able to just lean over and reach all the cables, but eventually I'm going to have to paint everything in the middle of the project. That's going to involve a lot of standing. Standing, or one of those little pulley systems from Mission Impossible. That would do it. League of Votan are good, Jock. I'm not sure. Do you know League of Votan, or the Leagues of Votan, are not a faction that I know much about. I've kind of ignored them since they've been introduced. All I know is they have the, what they call the something cores, the ancestor cores, where they have all the information that are like STCs. But I don't know. At the moment, they feel a bit goofy. I know you can argue that every faction in 40k is kind of goofy, but Votan just hasn't really won me over. So yeah, I kind of haven't paid attention to them. My opinion is unbiased and the whole truth. You keep telling yourself that, big brain. Sort of going back to Votan, I feel like if you compare it to the other factions that kind of have, well, I feel like aesthetically they're quite different, you know, and I don't know, they seem a bit more like clean sci-fi to me than 40k, but you know, when they went back to squats, when they reintroduced them, I thought they were going to go back down the original route of having the Imperial Guard, sort of Imperium-inspired ones. I didn't expect them to be a new faction out on their own, basically. So it was quite a surprise when they're rocking up in these spacesuit-looking things. Yeah, just didn't really win me over. But that's fine. Not everything has to appeal to everyone. Alex, hello Nihilist from Denmark. The only fun Aeldari to build is the Wraith Knight and a Crimson Hunter. SU-27 vibe, but the Hunter is a bit... yeah. I think I mentioned before, Alex, that I haven't really built any Eldar stuff, so I don't know how... Like, it looks fiddly. I think Big Brain said earlier in the week that the stuff was quite fiddly. I do have a bunch of Dark Eldar like figures that need to be put together, but again, like I don't know whether that's anything I'm ever going to get around to doing. So I can imagine them being fiddly as all hell. Then again, this had its moments as well. There's certainly been some fiddly bits when I've been assembling this build. In fact, these cables could probably pass for one of the fiddly bits I've had to do. King Pignut, Angel Sanguine, objectively best Space Marines chapter. I don't know much about them, honestly. It's funny that you bring up Space Marine chapters though, because I was looking at just a long list, because I've got loads of Space Marines that I've been collecting for, you know, since I got back into the hobby. And I could never decide what chapter I wanted to do. I know that Black Templars was always kind of one of the chapters that I thought about painting up. But I also want to go for a chapter that's sort of out there with not much lore behind it. Just to kind of, you know, like make it your own. I don't want to make my own chapter. I want to paint an established chapter, but one where you can kind of conjure the lore for yourself to a little, you know, to a small degree. Gargaloth, hello, finally caught you live. Hello, thank you very much, great work. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Gargaloth. I've been running a few of these streams for the past 2 weeks. Kind of patchy, don't really have a system, you know, where I'm streaming on certain days. It's kind of just when I feel like it. But yeah, this week has been, besides Monday, has been relatively stream-free because I've been exhausted every time I get back from work. So I haven't been streaming, which in turn means not much work has been done. And we need to start getting stuff done. We need to start moving forward. Though having said that, you know, the progress that has been made on these cables is satisfying. It's nice to see some colour on top of the gold for a change. And it gives me hope about the kind of details that we're going to have, or the level of detail we are going to be able to achieve. Gargaloth, do you have a Titan in mind for the awesome gate? Do I have a Titan in mind? I do want to have a Warhound Titan. Eventually, I would like to have two. But price-wise, you know, I'm not going to get it from Forge World because I don't have 500 and something pounds sitting around. So, essentially what I'm saying is, I was waiting for a plastic version. I'm hoping at some stage we'll get plastic Titans, because that's what I would like. But failing that, I think we're going to have to go down another route, if you know what I mean. That's probably going to be the more likely one. King Pignut, thank you for the donation. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. That's going to go straight towards this. I've said before, but all of the donations and Patreon and stuff, it all goes towards pieces that I need for this build. Maybe not so much the pieces now, since it's mainly built, but paints, materials, I burn through it, so it all helps. Thank you very much. Okay. You retracted a message after that. What is everyone else doing this evening then? What are we working on? Are we doing any hobbying, or are we just tuned in to listen to me ramble? So I feel like that's what I do half the time, is just kind of ramble. Ramble and paint cables. It's kind of not so exciting while I'm working on it. It's more once a section is done, that's when it's quite exciting. Because for the most part, if you watch any of my videos, you are just seeing you're seeing a bit of the process, but you're mainly just kind of seeing the end result. And obviously there is hours and hours and hours of tedious painting that goes into getting a section finished. And that's kind of what this is, but with more talking. With lots more talking. Usually I'm listening to someone else ramble while I'm painting. I got I kind of like the horror stories. They do, I can't remember the guy that I watch mainly. It might be Scary Interesting, I think. Or is it Scary Interesting? Basically kind of interesting and spooky stories is what I listen to while I'm painting. But in this instance, it's me talking about Warhammer and talking about this project. Big Brain, my parents' back lawn? What? What? Did we just blow past the relevance of that because I was rambling? King Pignut, Space Marine 2, not gonna lie. Space Marine 2 is fantastic. The only gripe I have with Space Marine 2 is the maps. Because I like PvE. I think PvE is quite good. But there's only... the game shipped with like 3 maps for PvE, and that just wasn't enough. And we're, what, 2 years? Is it like 2 years since the game came out, and we only have 5? I want to say 5 maps? I feel like there should be more for PvE. The missions are fantastic. Really cool missions. Love the story for Space Marine 2. I just want PvP, sorry. I might have said PvE. PvP to have a bit more attention. Gargaloth, enjoying the mental work you do as painting miles of cave... Sorry, God, butchering that. Enjoying the mental work you do painting miles of cables. Would go mad if it was me. I probably have gone a little bit mad, to be fair. It's just, I don't know, it's just it can be a tedium sometimes. As I said, so, till it's done, it can be a bit of a tedium. Jock, just finished playing Space Marine 1. Space Marine 1 is really good as well. I did enjoy Space Marine 1 a lot. Back when I had the Xbox 360, I played that quite a few times. But, yeah, Space Marine 2 is probably my favourite now, I'd say. Just looking forward to the next one. I'm hoping we don't have to wait too long for the next one. Do you know, one of the other things is I've gotten to that age now where I sit down and play video games. I feel guilty because I feel like I should be doing something productive. So sometimes I'll play Chivalry too. Like, I'm a really big fan of that game as well. Kind of a niche game, I guess. But when I sit down and play, I feel really guilty because I'm like, oh, I should probably be dealing with that massive project that sat in the studio instead of playing games. Yeah, I've just kind of noticed that creep in a little bit more. Used to be able to sit down and just play for hours and hours and hours and not be fussed about anything else. But now I'm like, am I using my time productively? Probably not. Alex, we will carry you, Larry the Cable Guy. Get her done. We need to, guys. We need to get this done. Yeah. I just need to see it in more of a painted state than it is, just to give me a kind of boost to move forward. Big Potty live stream, let's go! King Pignut, SM1 and SM2 are like the same game, but one has orcs. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I feel like Space Marine 2 kind of refined it a bit, and it got the vibe correct. I feel like Space Marine 1 is a bit more, in a way, kind of goofy, I want to say. Whimsical might be a better word for it, I suppose. But yeah, Space Marine 2 gets the vibe right, I think, and the story is more interesting. Jock, I'm playing Sauron Dead now. It's awesome. Surrounded, like the electric bike. Surrounded, I've not heard of that, Jock. What kind of game is that? A zombie game? Sounds like a zombie game. Actually, I've seen a few of them. I know there was a stage where zombie games were just played out, but I've actually seen a few zombie games that I would like to try. One of them is on PC, and I don't have a PC. There's the one... It's based in Birmingham, and it's like a medieval zombie game. And the name is escaping me now, but I felt like it looked really good. Gargaloth, what colours are we going with for the cables? Classic yellow, black? Now, Gargaloth, we have had, in the past, we've had quite a long conversation about that. Basically, to start off with, what we're doing is I'm sticking with a limited palette. So I'm going to do most of these cables in a black or a metallic colour. Then we're going to pick out a few with greens and reds. But when it comes to hazard stripe cables, I'm not very good at painting hazard stripes. So I don't want to go and paint loads of big cables in crappy looking hazard stripes and make it look rubbish, basically. So what we're going to do is I'm going to practice some hazard stripes for small cables, and maybe in a limited capacity we will put some on, smaller cables. But it involves me practicing first, because I'm shocking at them. I like to think I've got a steady hand for the most part, but for some reason hazard stripes just elude me. It's a zombie survival game at its finest, but with less fancy graphics. Well, the graphics don't always matter, I don't think. Gameplay is the most important. And sometimes a good story is more important, I find. Smart man, I stick to my strengths, Gargaloth. Maybe sometimes too much, instead of going outside of my comfort zone and experimenting. It's one of those things that I can get the paint in the right place, but sometimes I feel like I lack the artistry that some other people have. So it's like my paint jobs are tidy, but to me sometimes they feel like they're missing something. Not to degrade myself too much in the painting department, but yeah, that's honestly how I feel about it sometimes. I like to look at what other people do. You know, I like to look at what techniques other people imply and copy them sometimes, basically. Alex, there are no hazards near the throne anyway. No hazards. I don't know. I don't know if the tech priests would agree with you. I'd say some of these cables are probably hazards. And if you missed it the other day, we are going to have a little hazard. Well, is it a hazard? We're going to do a bit of storytelling, basically. So I'm going to have a servitor trying to put a fire out whilst being chastised by a tech priest. Just for a little story within a story. And obviously we're going to have all those Easter eggs like we've talked about before with Alpha Legion, Nurglings, Assassin. You know, we're going to have lots of little hidden bits and bobs. Plenty of fantastic places to hide them as well. One of the things I'm looking forward to doing, as I've said before, is showing you guys the Easter eggs, or what I've got planned. Because we've got loads of little nooks, especially at the sort of back of the throne area. There's lots of little hiding spaces. And, you know, if we go through with the room at the back of the throne, housing the real emperor, you know, that's opportunity to hide some other little Easter eggs as well. It also won't be as significant an undertaking as it sounds, because what I'm thinking for the little hidden room is just, you know, a couple more Zone Mortalis squares, maybe a set of 4, and then just kind of like building around that. So it definitely won't be as large an undertaking as the throne itself, and won't take half as long. So you won't need to be watching me paint it and build it in another 3 years' time. Gargaloth, now I'm going to show my ignorance regarding the law, but what chance do we got to have some flyers in the background? Some flyers! Ooh. So, I think if you're referencing like what's behind the throne, I guess, and sort of, you know, flyers in the sky, I'm not sure whether that's going to be something I add, in all honesty. I think flyers we're going to be limited to like little servo skulls. I did say before that I've built quite a few little servo skulls, and I'm going to dot them all around the throne as well. But I don't think you'd see any like big flyers. Yeah, I just don't think they'd kind of fit in flying around the throne room. Let's see, like a thunder ship. No, I don't think so, Gargaloth. I think maybe in other areas of the Imperial Palace you'd get flyers, but I feel like the throne room, as big as it is, isn't going to have thunderhawks and stuff. Yeah, so we probably won't have flyers that big, but there'll be, I was going to say hundreds, but maybe not hundreds, but there'll be lots of servo skulls flying around. Because one of the things that you guys haven't seen yet, I haven't put it on Instagram, haven't put it on YouTube, haven't shown it anywhere, is the vast collection of characters that I've accumulated for this project. You know, I got lots of servo skulls, servitors, characters that I thought would fit in quite well. Out of shot, I've got a Blackstone Fortress Escalation, which is hard as hell to get hold of. Luckily, I didn't have to buy it nowadays because I had it from when it came out. But the characters in there are quite cool, so I'm thinking of using them. And yeah, just like loads of different kits that I've pillaged from, basically, to get the parts I need. Zach Wells, it needs some cherubs too. Well, Zach Wells, the idea is to have a few of the old metal ones. I think I've got like 2 or 3 versions of those. And also probably pillaging the Triumph of St. Catherine again. Because I did use the cherubs from that kit for my first diorama. You know, that's got a really good selection of cherubs as well. So I'll probably get my hands on those and stick them in this build as well. Especially, there's one particular that I would buy the kit for, and it's the cherub that's holding this extremely long banner. He's probably like yay big, I guess. And he is a fantastic model because you can paint all the little script on the piece of parchment and everything. It's just got a load of character. So you'll see another one of those. An obscure thing that you'll see is, I can thank eBay for this one. I don't know which kit it is, but there's a Sisters of Battle kit that has all these little doves that have the parchment. And I found a seller online that had like 8 of them, just the doves clutching the parchment. And I bought all 8. Because I figured I can put them around the place and, yeah, they fit in. Ghost Rhino, hello, welcome to the stream. We are just doing some painting and chatting about all the stuff that's going to end up in the throne room. Yeah, so any suggestions? You guys are always welcome to give me suggestions for stuff. If there's anything you think that would work well, I'm always happy to hear what you guys have to think. I can't always say that I'm going to add your suggestions, but it's always good to hear because I have added a few people's suggestions in the past, but equally I've had some ones that I don't quite agree with, so they didn't end up getting implemented. I think one idea that I was kind of 50-50 on was there was someone on Instagram that suggested the statues of the Primarchs, and it's not that I didn't like the idea. I think the idea is really cool. It's just how much space it would take up. Because part of the thing now is trying not to detract from, you know, the build itself, I suppose. Try not to have anything that overshadows the Emperor too much. And I just feel like if we had loads of statues of the Primarchs, it might overshadow it a little bit. We will have statues, but they are little statues from the... was it not Cities of Death? Oh, what is it? I can never remember. For some reason, I always think of the Cities of Death kit, but the newer scenery kits that, for some reason, are already discontinued. Not the Administratum. God, what is it? It's kind of the cathedral churchy one. Basilicanum, I think it is. Has these really nice statues, and I'm going to use a few of them. If you want to know what it looks like, and you have Instagram, you can go right back, and there's a picture of this diorama with all the little gribbly bits on it. So we've got rows and rows of pillars, got statues, got all sorts on it, basically. And that's what it's going to look like again when I get them all painted. Gargaloth, are we going to get lots of banners with freehand all over the place? You are. You are going to get plenty, but I want to find some more. I want to be able to source some more. I've got quite a few so far, but I'd like to be able to get some of the old Space Marine banners that came with Firstborn Marines. There's a command squad that comes with like a little banner that's really nice, and I'd like to get a few more of them just to sort of line the causeway, and maybe put a few up here as well. But you're going to see plenty of them, basically. Maybe not freehand, because again, that's not something I'm particularly good at, but I'll make use of transfers, lots of transfers. There'll be lots of detail, but just not like freehand detail. Jock, I suggested motors, you know. Well, Jock, the room is going to be at the back. We're not adding any rooms to the side. All right, we can't get any wider. I don't know if you've noticed from the camera, but we have a wall behind me, and my gate section is resting up against the wall, so we can't go out sideways. We can go back a little bit. Behind the build, I have, what's that, maybe 8 foot space? So I can make a secret room with the real Emperor, but I can't go out sideways. King Pignut, what 3D printer did you use for the gate? Well, King Pignut, the guy who designed the gate, Frankie, he done it all from scratch, and he printed it for me. I don't know what printer he printed it on, but it's an FDM print. It's very light. It's still got lots of detail, but it has resulted in... I've given it quite a few base coats of paint, basically. But it's a lovely print, nice and light. But I can't tell you what printer it came off of because I don't know. I'm not up with my 3D printing at all. Ghost Rhino. Nice. A few... nice. Some serfs, religious plebs praying at the doorway. Do a line of chained psychers being lined up and marched to the side of the throne with SOS guarding and rounding them up. Well, there is an idea for something like that. It's just the logistics behind maybe, I don't know, a decent design of some psychers chained together. Also, one of my videos I talk about this, but I kind of designated this area behind as the sort of psyker disintegration chambers, we'll call them. So what I did was I used a bunch of tiles from the Cities of Death that have like a little door on them. And what I envision is that the psychers are, you know, these pop up from the ground, psychers loaded in, boom, turned to soup, fed to the Emperor. I felt like that was a fairly straightforward way of showing how that works, whilst leaving a little bit of mystery to it. And also working within the confines of what I can and can't do. Might not be 100% lore accurate, but it'll do. King Pignut, I'm 3D printing a Warlord Titan. That's pretty awesome. I have seen some really good 3D printed ones. It seems to be a good opportunity with 3D printing to get a nice Titan, basically, for, you know, under £1,000. I think that's how much the Warlord is. But yeah, really cool. Really cool. Alex, if you sell the house and can't get out, how many sales report could include the Imperial Golden Throne there? Well, it would be a highlight, wouldn't it? Listing a house. If you're a wargamer at least, you know, maybe if you're into 40k and you want a Golden Throne to come with the house. I'm not looking forward to the day it's got to be moved, truth be told, because some stage soon I'm going to be moving, and this thing is going to have to move as well. And yeah, I don't want to move it. I don't want to move it. It's going to be a hassle. I know something's going to break off of it. Let's see, Big Brain. What is behind the wall with the gate, and why can't you punch a hole in the wall? Because then we'd be building outside. This isn't going to be the start of like a huge Imperial Palace build. I'm not going to slowly fill up everything with a giant throne room. Ghost Rhino, that would be so cool. What are we on here, Ghost Rhino? The secret room, or are we on about the expanding sideways? Or the house coming with it? That being said, I'm not sure I could bring myself to sell this at the moment. I don't know whether that feeling will change when it's done. But for the time being, I kind of, yeah. I think it's just because I put so much time into it that it's like, how would I even price it, you know? And who's going to spend that money that I would want for it, you know? I'd be happy for someone to house it and it be on display for a few years. That'd be fantastic, because then I'd have my studio back and I could work on something else. Damn, not looking forward to that. Gonna be a pain in the ass to move. You're right, Gargloth. It's gonna suck. It's gonna absolutely suck. Most of the little pieces are gonna be fine because I can just wrap them in bubble wrap and they're not gonna be a problem. But the other little bits, like we've got the balustrades that are all sat down. They're deadly sharp as well. I'm gonna have to warn anyone that does a battle report on this. Like, don't bend your head down too much, otherwise you're gonna blind yourself. But yeah, it's going to be a pain in the ass to move. One of the saving graces was that the kind of machine unit that was sat above the Emperor, I already broke that off. So I'm not going to reattach it for a while, just so I can paint it up. But yeah, I've saved myself some hassle there, because instead of breaking off in transit, I broke it off here in the studio. Just being clumsy. F outside, it's the Golden Throne. Yeah, but we don't have any more space, Jock. We don't have any more space besides behind. You know? As I said, if you're going to encourage me to do the secret room, because we can't go sideways. I also can't remember if I explained this in a video, but my intention for the throne, or what I had envisioned in my head for how it looks outside of its confines, is that at the front here, there would be like a massive staircase, kind of similar to that John Blanche piece of artwork where you're looking up at the stairs that go up to the Golden Throne. So I don't imagine this just being the pyramid. You know, I imagine this being the top of another pyramid. So all the stairs would go down for, you know, couple of miles maybe, and then this is just the bit at the top. So that's the sort of way I see it, really, because on its own this is relatively small. You know, you're thinking the Imperial Palace, massive, miles high. The Golden Throne is going to be huge, isn't it? It's not just going to be two levels high. It's going to be monstrous. Ghost Rhino, both, but the idea of an extra room and marching psychers into a brightly lit hole in the throne. Yeah, well, in terms of brightly lit, we're going to have some LEDs kicking around. We have some to figure out for the front two sections here, the kind of gaps. And then, yeah, I'm going to have to work out where all the other ones are going to be on the throne. What else do we have? Oh, and if you haven't heard before, we have the stained glass. Any of the arches with the windows are going to have some stained glass, and we're probably going to try and get some LEDs behind them to give a nice effect. But yeah, that's definitely further down the line. For now, we just got to paint. But you know, the more I get painted, the more I'm encouraged to work on other little bits. Because I do have some ideas for the secret room that'll make it look quite good. It'll also blend in well, because I can just... What I can do is measure it and put it on a little stand, so it's like one continuous table. So the floor level will match up with the doors that are behind the Emperor, so you could just seamlessly, boom, into the secret room. No gold in there though, I'm thinking, or very limited gold. I'm thinking for the secret room we kind of break away from so much gold, and maybe just leave a limited aspect of it gold. There's only so much gold a man can paint. And this man still has to paint 300 custodies, and they gotta be gold. Maybe what I'll do when I end up painting the custodies is doing one custody, one random character, because then I can kind of keep it fresh. I just realised I lied. I absolutely lied. I did do a little bit of hobby yesterday, but I didn't do any Golden Throne work. I painted some crates for this little Ash Wastes Necromunda thing I was working on. So I lied. I'm sorry, guys. I did hobby and it wasn't Golden Throne related. Big Brain, paint an Ulthway Eldar for the throne. Whoa, I don't know if you can convince me to do that, Big Brain. Maybe an Alpha Legionnaire, but I don't know if we're gonna have any little Eldar Easter eggs. Maybe Harlequins. I think there was a few people who'd like to see a Harlequin somewhere. Maybe to kind of counteract the Vindicare assassin, so we have the assassin somewhere. I'm thinking possibly on top of one of the walls or on top of the gate, and then maybe a Harlequin somewhere else, but you know, we will see. You're going to be hearing that a lot at the moment, is we will see, just because all I can think about at the moment is painting cables. Jock, when are you going to show the other projects you're working on? I did say that, didn't I? I think in 2 streams now I've said, look, I painted this and I'm working on that, and I didn't show anything. So I think maybe I'm going to have to prove to you guys that I'm not lying. So let me just see. I'll just clean this brush and I will show you. You're also going to see me gracefully move from behind here again and maybe knock off this wet palette with my fat ass, because I done it earlier. Alright, here we go. Suck in. Alright. Let's see. I'm going to see. So, again, I apologise. I'm not sure how well it's going to come up on this camera, but I'm kind of working on this like Ash Wastes project. It's just to kind of give me a little break from time to time. I'm quite happy with how it's going, to be fair. It's been a bit different working on like natural effects. So using pigment powders and using, well, Dirty Down Rust. I don't know if you guys have used that before. It's fantastic. Like for an easy rust effect, really, really good. But I'm trying to sort of perfect the art of using it, I guess. But yeah, that's one of my projects. One of my other projects. And look, I try not to drop this on the floor. But I've been painting these little crates. In all honesty, it's just an excuse to use transfers again, because I feel like transfers really help with detail. Oh yeah, and there's another thing, look, it's going to be a redemptionist. It's going to be a redemptionist sort of stronghold in the wastes. So I've done some little defences as well to cover up the windows. But yeah, that's it. I do work on other things. occasionally. Here comes the gracefulness again. Oh, there we go. I knocked it off with my fat ass. I knew it was going to happen. I called it, and it happened. But yeah, so there you go. I'm not lying. I do work on other things that aren't the Golden Throne. Probably missed. Let's see. Ghost Rhino. I'm getting into Necromunda too. I'm trying to make a sewer river overflow area. Necromunda just has so much room for opportunity when it comes to terrain making, I find. It's one of the areas that I've always, like areas of the lore that I've always liked, but it's only recently that I've seen people kind of what they create that has really pushed me to want to do some myself. It's just mind-boggling, some of the stuff I've seen. One today specifically, it's an account that I've recently started following called Pigment Pig. And I think I got that right, Pigment Pig. He's done like a Necromunda table. And it's just so detailed. And I don't think I've seen a build as detailed as that. And it's just kind of like inspires me to give it a go, really, and try something different. But yeah, lots of opportunity with Necromunda. King Pignut. Oh yeah, Dirty Down Rust is actually the best paint in existence. It's really good. It's just the rust effect is so convincing. The only downside I would say is trying to... You can't really apply any paint on top of it. You've got to stick it... you've got to know where you want it, basically. Because you can't get it wet again, otherwise it not reawakens. I can't think of the word, but you know, it reactivates. It reactivates the paint. It does. Ghost Rhino, look, it looks good, mate. Thank you very much. There's still a few more details I want to add. I want to add some skulls and maybe some candles and a little statue. But yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of playing with that one basically and letting myself just do whatever I feel works. Big Brain. Eldar aren't known for rust. No Eldar. No. Eldar, I feel like it's got to be all pristine, hasn't it? Maybe a bit of battle damage, but for the most part, pristine. Let's see, Alex. Maybe the lion could turn back to the throne. Well, maybe we could have the lion. You know, there's always the opportunity to have these models painted up, to take some pictures or do some battle reports. You know, there's always kind of room to play with the story and do some storytelling. But when it comes to what the overall diorama is going to look like, there's not going to be any other Primarchs. It's just going to be Matey Boy on that throne and then a bunch of serfs and cherubs and all other weird characters. Ghost Rhino, is this true that Dirty Down Rust smells? It does. It does. I can't lie. It's quite a potent smell, Dirty Down Rust. It doesn't make it unbearable to work with, but if you if you're quite sensitive to strong smells, I would suggest just a little mask. It'll help you out. Me, sometimes I just for most of the time I use it, I just open the door. It still stinks, but it kind of helps clear it out. Jock, I know there is one more to show. There is not an Eldar. I'm getting distracted by Big Brain. There is a Necron somewhere. I don't know if I can reach him, but there is a Necron. Let's see if I can do this. Can I do it? Ba-ba! I done it. All right, cool. So, let's see. I'm not going to drop this one on the floor. I promise. Okay, again, might not come up well, but I decided the other day to paint a Necron. He's not finished, really, because the base needs to be done. But yeah, there we go, Jock. 2 other projects that aren't the throne. I do work on other things. Yeah. Rover Mars Rover, what's up, my dudes? Welcome to the stream, Rover Mars Rover. It's good of you to join us again. It's the same shit on a different day. Still working on this, still talking about Warhammer. Yeah. Necromunda feels more grounded, everything feels smaller, which makes everything feel more grand, more realistic. Everyone on Necromunda is just people. I want to make some sick terrain. Basically, Ghost Rhino, you've encapsulated everything that attracts me to it. It's not on this grand scale, you know, it's not the Imperial Palace, it's not Space Marines, it's not Custodes. It's just a miserable, overpopulated planet where most people are living in the slums. Yeah, really like a good opportunity to do some scenic storytelling. Maybe the project I do after this will be Necromunda related. I have a lot of Zone Mortalis terrain. I also have a lot of... What else do I have? A lot of ruins as well. So yeah, maybe I'll do something with Necromunda. It's definitely one of my areas that I enjoy. Jock, what about the Space Marine City diorama? I did realise you commented on that the other day. The other day? Yeah, it was. It was the other day. I'd still like to go back to that project. I have the tile sat underneath the camera, but yeah, I just haven't gone back to it yet. It's because I feel bad. I feel like when I'm not working on this, I'm not doing my job. Because let's be fair, most of the reason you guys are here is to see this done. You're not here for my distractions. You're not here for my side projects. You're here to see this finished so you can go and look at something else. Ghost Rhino. Oh, yeah, that would be dope. It would be good. I wouldn't mind working on a Necromunda related project, but I have to see this finished first. I do. Oh, that's another reason I want to build a Necromunda project, is I ended up with 2 boxes of the ruined Necromunda scenery, the ruined Zone Mortalis stuff. And I think it looks really cool, so I would like to do something with that. And maybe something where I can include detail, but it doesn't have to be painted as detail, if that makes sense. Like I can be kind of rough and ready because everything is so run down in the Underhive. Just kind of a new opportunity to work in a different style, basically, because this is going to require a lot of detail. Whereas Necromunda, I could kind of just get the pigments in there, get a limited colour palette, and then highlight smaller details. Jock, yeah, it's the other day and I'm still waiting. Well, you're probably going to be waiting a bit longer, Jock. I don't think we're going to revisit that project for a while. Let's see. Dr. Elias Shaw. I've recently started my own first Warhammer army. Any paint tips? Oh, that is a good question. So even though I don't paint that many miniatures in terms of army painting, what I would say is giving a miniature a nice base, like taking a bit of time once you've painted the miniature to make the base look quite good, is a nice little touch, and it kind of, I feel like it encourages you to paint more, because sometimes people will spend all their time getting the miniature to look fantastic and kind of rush the base. So I feel like taking that extra little bit of time to make the base nice and paint the rim of the base, you know, that'll benefit you in the long run, and it, you know, might encourage you to paint more, basically. Ghost Rhino. No, I'll be interested in your side projects. Well, that's awesome, Ghost Rhino. I do want to share some of the other stuff I do. I do worry sometimes that I'm going to be the one-trick pony, like, oh, it's the Golden Throne guy who can't do anything else. So yeah, it would be a nice opportunity to show you guys other, you know, other ideas, basically. Because there's definitely a lot of opportunity with 40k in the lore to come up with great scenery pieces and great tables. It just so happens that I decided I was going to build another Golden Throne and make it 8 times the size of the original one I done. And yeah, it's just become a little bit of my a little bit of my hobby life now. Big Brain, how much have we succeeded in delaying your progress on cables? Well, I'm doing way more yapping, but it's nice to yap. It's nice to have a bit of painting, a bit of yapping. I can't lie and tell you that I wouldn't be doing it quicker if I wasn't talking as much, though. But where's the fun in that? Then you don't get to see the progress firsthand. And you don't get to bother me about motors for doors. It's like I've mentioned before, I feel like this is quite a good way of just getting stuff done though with streaming. Because I get a little bit of encouragement to do it. Not that that should be the case, you know, obviously I do enjoy doing it. I wouldn't bother otherwise if I didn't enjoy doing it. But, oh, spillage. But yeah, it's a nice way of just kind of pushing myself to work on it a bit more. And why not? It's Friday evening. Why not do a bit of hobbying? Got the rest of the weekend ahead of me to do other stuff. So may as well get some project stuff done. I don't think when I was a kid I ever imagined myself doing something like this. I know when I got into Warhammer, I felt like I was always going to be interested in Warhammer. And then, like a lot of people, you get that sort of stage where you fade out of Warhammer for a little bit. But lots of people I know have always got brought back into it. Just little did I know I would be brought back into it and then decide to start building ridiculously big projects. Good fun though. What comes after the cables, Big Brain? What comes after the cables? I think we're going to... We still need to do some more edge highlighting. We still need to go back to the floor. But I think I might tidy up a few things actually once I've done cables. I got this side away from the camera here which needs to be tidied up. I think maybe just a coat of black gesso to tidy it. And then... honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I do have to go back to the Emperor as well. The Emperor's sat in a half-finished state. So I need to go back and do him. Maybe some of the backboard, to be fair, because that's sat untouched for quite a while. I'm also thinking of all those big gold bits of pipe. I'm actually thinking of changing them and turning them into a sort of steel or lead belcher kind of colour, just to have a bit of variation. So maybe that's the next step. But we'll see. Let's see. Jock. I'm waiting to have a kid to go heavy on the hobby. Oh, that's fair enough. It's good where you have a little one to paint with, I guess, and guide through the hobby. I feel like I'd be too... I'd be like, no, don't pick that up. That's too fragile. I feel like I'd be too protective over my own work. I suppose it'd be cool to have someone to show the ropes to. You'd always have someone to talk to about Warhammer then, wouldn't you? But for the time being, I think a dog is enough for now. Can't talk to my dog about Warhammer, but it's enough to look after. And I get some hobby time. My biggest fear is having a child and then having no hobby time. As selfish as that sounds, I worry that I wouldn't be left with much time. Apologies to any dads out there if you're watching and I've just completely got it wrong. I apologise. But that's just what I see in my mind. Ghost Rhino, yeah, I'm never gonna complain about painting terrain ever again, lol, after I see you paint the Golden Throne. Well, you're still gonna hear me complain from time to time, but all of this is, you know, this is my choice, isn't it? No one forced me to build this. No one forced me to paint it. But it's like I say, when you get a section done and you take a photo and you just see the time that's gone into it, that's the enjoyable factor. And also seeing the potential. You know, coming up with ideas and things you can add. That's part of the enjoyment too. I get little bursts sometimes of, I'll come up with an idea and I'll just spend the rest of the evening thinking about the idea and ways I can improve it and ways to implement it. So going back to the secret room that I'd like to add, you know, I've got an idea of how I'd like to construct the Emperor for that one and what I'd like to put in the room. And it's just a case of doing it now once I've managed to get some painting done. I know some people out there will be like, what? More? Just get it done already. But it's only going to be a small edition. It's not going to be the same size as this main section. So it'll take a lot less time. Finley Brownlee. Dude, this is sick. Did you 3D print this? I did not, Finley. This is essentially a massive kit bash. This has pieces from, I was going to say thousands. It doesn't have thousands of pieces from Warhammer kits. It has pieces from over 100 kits, I'd say. You know, and you've got your green stuff, plasticard, all the other little bits and bobs. So yeah, this is a kit bash. A giant kit bash. Jock, I don't have the time to paint, so I would probably let the kid do whatever colour. Yeah, get him to paint your army. Just go, I'd like these Necrons pink, and I'd like this base painted with half a potato and some macaroni. Big brain. You can talk to the dog about Warhammer, but can't think with. Well, the dog isn't very good at coming up with ideas for the project, unfortunately. Most of the time she just sits here and looks at me and occasionally scratches me and says, can we go out now? Are you going to stop doing this? I'm tired of watching you paint. Dr. Elias Shaw, let's be real. None of us are actually close to having a kid. We need to talk to a girl for that to happen. Well... I don't know what to say to that. My partner would disagree. She would. I just about managed to pull myself away from the project to talk to a girl. So it worked out for me. You should all do that. I recommend it. Jock, I'm married and my wife is pregnant. Bruh. Well, Jock... You are going to be painting miniatures with someone soon. It's going to happen, I tell you. You're going to be on the streams less and less as well. I'm going to be like, where's Jock? Does he have a child or something? Does he have a newborn? Yeah, well, as well, congratulations, Jock. I should have said that first before taking the piss. Congratulations. Finley Brown, looks incredible, man. Thank you very much. We've still got a fair bit to do. We've still got to get it all painted, but hopefully it's going to look even better when it's done. And hopefully I'm going to feel even better because I can do something else. Leo Lovett, I'd like to see some custodian formations on this board. Well, Leo, if you look at Instagram, there is an example of the board with a bunch of custodies on it. Not so much formations, but what it looks like with about 100 models on it. When it comes to the composition of the diorama, I think I'm going to make it quite interesting. So I might have, I don't know, maybe a sort of singular unit of custodies stood to attention. But I'm not sure yet. That's a way bit ahead of us for now. I'll also probably get some feedback. So when I have some miniatures painted, I will ask you guys what you think, really. And we can agree on a good layout for it all. We've also agreed that we're not going to glue anything down. We're not going to make any permanent additions when it comes to miniatures, just because it gives us more opportunity then. So I'll probably have like a layout for display, basically. If I get to show it off anywhere, I'll have like an idea of how I want to display it. But not gluing the miniatures down gives us an opportunity to host some games on it and just take pictures of miniatures in different poses, you know. Just feels like it's a little bit too big to permanently glue down miniatures. And also, if I decide I don't like something after the fact, I don't have to snap it off and think of something else to replace it. Leo Lovett, you could use this as a display for a whole Custodes army. I could do. There's probably going to be a whole Custodes worth of miniatures on there. A whole Custodes worth of miniatures? A whole Custodes army worth of miniatures on this display. So you will see one. I've also got the tanks from the box, the Custodes Horus Heresy box kicking around. I do need to assemble them, but I'll probably put them on display as well, I think. Just need to get hold of the big Roomba looking one, the troop carrier. I haven't got one of those yet, but I would like to get one. They're also pretty big from what I'm seeing. Ain't 5 Custodes like an army? It is, I think. I think game-wise it works out like that, and points-wise, it's probably not too many Custodes to have an actual functioning army. But we're not doing that here. We are not doing points-based armies. We are just doing, I think that looks cool, I'm gonna do that. If anything, this build is probably not going to feature too many Space Marines. I don't know if there's any Space Marines actually that's going to feature. Maybe an Alpha Legion guy, but yeah. I'm not sure how a random Space Marine would kind of fit into it, and I'm not sure having any characters would be a great idea. Like I said earlier, we could paint up the Primarchs and just use them in photos and videos and stuff. But when it comes to your regular Primaris Space Marine, I don't think there's a need for any on this project. Big Brain, a Custodian army is like 30 minis. Yeah, they are smaller armies for sure. But this is going to have like... the aim was to have 300, but looking back to when I put all the Custodes I have on this board, I'm wondering that it might look a bit too overwhelming. So I think what we're going to do is use the, well, roughly 100 miniatures that we have and space them out over the whole thing. because when I took some photos and videos, I'd mainly put them on the main section. So I think what we're going to do is stick with what we've got and just spread them out over the whole build, and it should look natural and not too overstuffed. Ghost Rhino, a single Imperial Fist. I'm always open to like a meme or an Easter egg. So, you know, we'll probably take a vote on a few Easter eggs. Like I know for sure we're gonna do Nurgle. We're gonna have the little Nurglings that I've saved up. We're gonna have the Alpha Legionnaire. We're gonna have the Assassin. Possibly the Harlequin. I think the Harlequin could be cool as well. Maybe a Trazen reference, but again, you know, we'll probably decide, because I don't want the whole thing to be an Easter egg. We just want it to look cool. That's all I want at the end of the day, is just for it to look cool. My only wish sometimes is that I could paint a little bit faster. I am quite a slow painter, and that explains part of the reason why this project has taken as long as it has. It's not the only reason. Obviously there's life stuff that gets in the way sometimes. Combined with there was a stage actually where I don't think I worked on the project for about 2 months. Just because I was really fighting off like the lethargy. You know, I'd got to a stage where I probably hadn't made any significant progress, and it just made me feel a bit like, oh, I can't be bothered. So yeah, there was about 2 months of that, but for the most part now, no problems. Oops. Ignore that, guys. Again, that's the professional streamer coming in here. That's the not putting my phone on silent, getting messages on stream. Let's see, what do we have here? He's just looking at the construction, checking on the walls. He could do that. We could have an Imperial Fist by the gate, maybe. Just like tapping on the walls, like, yeah, making sure it's all reinforced. Dr. Elias Short, you could reenact the time that Cypher broke in. Actually, that is another one. That's a really good call, actually. Cypher, I think someone else has mentioned that, but yeah, that could be one. We just have to add them one by one and get to a stage where we're like, okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough Easter eggs now. King Pignut, add 4 assassins like in the Imperial Palace at Warhammer World. I mean, we could do that. The Imperial assassins, I suppose they're like an Easter egg in the sense that you have to find them, and they fit in well. So maybe we won't count them as an Easter egg. We'll count the stuff like Trazen, Alpha Legion, Nurgle as an Easter egg. I could do that though, Pignut. That's a good idea. 300 Custodes versus 1 Orc. Is that the battle report you want to see, Leo? If you haven't seen any of the other streams we done, I have talked about how we're going to... Well, I'm going to try and get in contact with some of the other YouTubers out there who do like battle reports and see if we can organise a battle report on the table. Because I know a lot of you want to see that. It's just not something I can provide because I don't play the game and I don't know anything about the game, in all honesty. Just, I find I don't have the time to play it. And my enjoyment of this hobby comes specifically from painting, kitbashing, you know, building stuff. Yeah, so we'll get that sorted either way. Cypher and the Fallen versus the Custodes would be a fun battle to play out on the board. That could be quite good. It could be quite good. It could be quite interesting. We could also do Custodes versus Grey Knight. We could have orcs, custodies versus orcs. We could have custodies versus anyone. Imperial Fist Osha Inspector. Exactly that, Jock. We could give him a little yellow hat too. Little yellow hard hat. No debuffs. How many cans of metallic gold spray were spent on this? Too many no debuffs. Probably about 20, I think. I think 20 is a conservative estimate of how many it was. And, awfully enough, I was originally using the, what was it? The Games Workshop Gold. And it just was not, it was not going the distance. So most of it is Colourforge, because the can is like twice the size. Really good stuff. And half the price as well. I just wish I had learnt that earlier. Would have saved me, saved me a fair bit of money. But yes, lots of cans, no debuffs. Lots of cans. You roll dice. No, Big Brain. I don't roll. I no roll dice. No roll dice. No play. William Mary, hi, loving your stuff. Thank you very much, William Mary. We're just trying to get it done now. I've started these streams to kind of chip away at it, so come December, which is the self-imposed deadline, I can have most of it done. You know, realistically it won't be finished by then, but as long as it's in a state where most of it's painted, I'll be happy, and yeah, we can just go from there essentially. Orpheron, I don't know who you are, I don't know why you ended up on my recommended, but I see real life Golden Throne, so I love you already. Well, thank you for joining, thank you for taking the risk and clicking on the recommended. I got a few videos on this project, if you haven't seen the channel before, just talking about the, you know, the process of building this, the past 3 years, yeah. So if you want to catch up and see what it's about, feel free to check them out on my channel. And you're still probably going to see plenty more in the future as well. There's still lots more to do. For the time being, we're just chipping away at all the cables. Now, technically I could, if I wanted to, just leave a lot of this gold. But I feel like it needs that level of detail. You know, this is it's going to sound a little bit hyperbolic, but, you know, it's like a once in a lifetime project. I'm not going to do anything like this again. So I may as well put the time and effort in to get the detail, basically. Excellent, Orpheron. Well, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the project. It's nice to have you here. I did feel like at one point that we'd kind of reached that saturation, because obviously this is a niche, you know, this is like a very niche interest. I know Warhammer is a popular hobby now, it's becoming bigger and bigger, but this specifically, like, oh, I want a Golden Throne diorama. I thought we'd reached saturation, like, this is where it's going to stay, and there's not going to be many new people who want to see this, but I guess I'm wrong. Big Brain, don't mix it with the old one. I'm not going to mix it with the old project. No, no, no. I did a side-by-side comparison, actually, in one of my older videos of how small the first project is compared to this one. Because this one is just monstrously big. Almost too big. I think one of the only other reasons that I undertook this project is I'm lucky enough to have a little bit of space to work in. If I had a smaller hobby space, I don't think I'd be working on any large projects at all. I just don't think I would. I don't think I'd be able to store them. You know, it's bad enough that this build isn't modular. Aside from the 3 wall sections, you know, I can't break this into pieces and store it somewhere. It lives here now. Ghost Rhino, next project. Hey guys, I'm building an entire Underhive city. That would be something, but do you know what that has reminded me of? If you do want to see a fantastic like depiction of a hive, in 28mm scale. One of the hobbyists that I first got interested in when I joined Instagram was, I think his name is Neil101, I want to say, and he built this whole like hive spire called Bleak Spire, I think it is, or Bleak Spur, and it is fantastic. Like, it is massive. Obviously you can't get close to like anywhere near a real spire, but the, you know, what he has done with the space and the, you know, the pieces he has is just amazing. So I would recommend, if you have Instagram, to check that out. You should be able to find him as Neil101. I will have another look just to make sure, because it's definitely worth looking at. Let me just see here. Yeah, so neil101.nr is his Instagram handle. I recommend you check out his work because it's fantastic. Very cool. Alright, let me get my chat back. Lol, can you just build the hive city on top? Not that big a project. I think if I was going to approach a project like that, I would do, I don't know, something at sump level, under hive level, where I can just kind of bash it out, build it well, maybe the building would have more time than the painting, if that makes sense, because it's so dusty and grimy down there. It wouldn't require the level of detail that this does. Either that or the top of a spire, where everything is immaculate and all the wealthy are there. So, yeah, I think that's how I'd approach it if I was going to do something like that. Jock, next project needs some doors with you-know-what. Yeah, some motorized doors. We'll try and get that in a project, Jock, just for you. Just for you, buddy. What I'll probably do is go back to the project that Jock referenced earlier, which is, I was inspired by Space Marine 2 by, I was going to say Agarax, by, what's it called again now? My brain has just completely stopped. Okay, well, my brain isn't working, but basically, one of the maps from Space Marine 2, the city map, I was inspired to build some scenery based around that. So I might return to that, but we'll see. There's an equal chance that I just drop that completely and do something else, so you never know. Big Brain, the Golden Throne is so small, expanded it out of the wall behind the gate. Would I? I probably... I don't know. Maybe if I had the space. We'll do the secret room though. I think that's going to be a definite. But again, we are limited by space. You know, I'm lucky enough to have this much space, so I can't imagine having much more. Suppose if I had a warehouse to build it in, I could make it as big as I want. But I don't have money for a warehouse, and I don't have the time to work on it either. I also don't think it's viable to work on a Golden Throne as a full-time job. What do you do for work? Oh, you know, I just build one specific big diorama. Standard. Alpharone, I watch this as I sit next to half-painted Imperial Knight and half-assembled Space Wolves Combat Patrol and unopened Grey Knights Combat Patrol. Well, Alpharone, I think your best option, if you want an unsolicited opinion, is just choose one and get started. Because from someone who suffers with analysis paralysis, it's better just to go for one thing, because otherwise you're going to spend a lot of time just thinking, basically, and then you end up not doing anything. Because it does happen from time to time with me too. You know, especially with this in the past. What do I work on today? And then I don't end up doing any work. And like wasting hours just... Eventually I kind of regress to looking at my phone and looking at other people achieving stuff. So yeah, choose one and stick with it. At least for tonight, you know. Tomorrow or whenever you got time next, you can work on something else. Your big brain is still threatening to buy the motors with that 10 grand or however many knock that is. Jock, maybe maybe a Games Workshop store can display your project when it's finished. Or ask GW directly. Maybe we'll see what happens. The main thing would be displaying it somewhere so you guys could come and look, basically. That's what I want the most, is for some of the people who have been following the project to have the opportunity to see it in person. And if we can get something set up so this project is stored somewhere for, you know, a little while at least, that would be fantastic. But yeah, again, you know, that's another thing. We'll get it finished first, and then we'll see what opportunities there are to do something like that. I'm also stumped as to which cable I need to paint next, or which cable I should paint next. Maybe we'll go for this one up here. Willa Mary, you are a big hobby inspiration for myself. Please keep it up. Well, thank you very much, Willa Mary. As I've said before, like, the community around this project has been awesome. You know, I've had a lot of encouragement from people, and it's really cool. So I do like sharing the progress and sort of chatting to you guys as I'm working on it. Even though this is a fairly new thing, you know, we've only been doing this for about 2 weeks now. Ghost Running. Oh my god, Neil 101 is insane. He made the Hive City from a picture of one of the books. What the... That's crazy. He made it have a garden. I know. It's incredible stuff. It is incredible stuff. Because I'd seen his work before I started this, I'd say that it definitely inspired me to do bigger pieces. Because my first diorama was pretty small. So I think part of his work, you know, encouraged me to do bigger projects, basically. But yeah, highly recommend his stuff. Orpheron, and to think that this thing would be monumental to a person in the universe. Well, yeah, people travel from all over the galaxy, don't they? There's generations of families that are born and die on the way to Holy Terra, just to see the fake emperor who sits at the top of that throne. But little do they know he's not the real emperor. Also, I don't suppose that anyone besides the Psychers would actually get as close as this. Like I said, this is supposed to be the very top of the pyramid. So below here, from this side, there's just going to be stairs that go down for miles, you know, probably a couple of levels on the way down, but this is going to be the top of a very big pyramid. So I don't think pilgrims and all the devout civilians are going to get anywhere this close to him, basically. This is just going to be very select people and his loyal custodies. I don't think with a project like this that it's ever going to be 100% lore accurate anyway. And I know for the first project I'd done, I had a couple of people say that, oh, you're not going to have all these other people in the throne room because they can't survive the power that the Emperor gives off. But I don't think it's very fun if it's just a big empty room, so I do want to add some other little characters. Maybe if we're going to kind of toe the line of lore, I'll keep the top section and the middle section free of like human-esque characters. but and maybe just have like custodies. But I do want to have some of the interesting, quirky, and weird characters that the Imperium has. Jock, I will plan a family trip just to see it. Well, it would be cool. It's a, you know, it's an excuse to come over, isn't it? Excuse to come to the UK. But yeah, you know, realistically, where was I working? Realistically, I would like to have it on display so people can see. What's the point in spending all this time and effort if only I can enjoy it? Big Brain, I'm here to hinder your process on the throne. Well, you're doing a good job, Big Brain. I think you've been here for most streams now, to be fair. Big Brain, the only mile I know is 10 kilometers. Well, we do things in miles here. And I'm going to say this thing sits a mile high. Orpharone, have you ever heard about the Grey Knight's Terminus Decree? I have, Orpharone, and we're going to have a reference to it. It's not here yet, but up near, up near the Emperor himself, we're going to have a little reference to it. And, you know, maybe in the future we'll have a battle report that is Grey Knights versus Custodes. Ghost Rhino. Yeah, the average person probably couldn't get within a mile of the Emperor on the throne due to psychic radiation, possibly the Sisters of Silence and Custodians, and a few Psychers for fuel. See, I'm kind of aware that that is the case, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to rigidly stick to the law. We're going to bend it a little bit. And if I want to come up with an excuse, I will use the same excuse that I used for my first project, which is like, oh, they're just kind of making sure that everything is maintained. So this idea that maybe they come in for a few hours, check that everything is still working and plugged in, and then disappear again. So that's how I explain it away. The Nonconformist, GJ, what a work. Well, thank you very much. It's still not done though, Nonconformist. There's still a lot of work to do. A hell of a lot of work. And I'm making myself worry just thinking about how much work I have left to do. Because today we've probably achieved less than 10 cables, I think. Because I've been doing far more talking than I usually would be doing. So we'll try and get up to double digits for cables. We'll try and get a few more done at least, just to make it say it's been worthwhile doing a stream. So I think I've done about 5. Friggin' bold of those little buggers to think they could get past the Custodes. I bet they would get absolutely bodied. Well, they're not trying to get past the Custodes, not the people visiting. The little Easter eggs, they'll be bold of them, so Mr. Alpha Legion and the little Nurglings. Big Brain, do you know that YouTube hides some chat messages unless you switch mode? I did not know that. So if I do miss any messages, I apologize. I'm just working with what I got. What do we have? Jock. How far do you think Gilliman is from the Emperor when he talked to him? I don't know. I'd like to say he was fairly close. I would. But part of the horror, you know, part of Gilliman leaving kind of mortified at what he's seen is, I feel like, is to do with him seeing the actual Emperor and the state of the actual Emperor. Again, that could, you know, this whole idea of a fake Emperor and a real Emperor could be just completely sort of retconned, even though I don't think it's kind of ever been an official standpoint for the law. It could be it could be related to maybe the Emperor being able to regenerate himself, but he is being kept on the Golden Throne. Again, just like a kind of conspiracy theory from me there. But I'd say he was pretty close. Close enough to see the gory details. You mean the GK? Alpharon? What do you mean? I thought you meant Grey Knights. Ghost Rhino, Jock, probably 100 feet until Gilliman grabbed the Emperor's sword. He's going to give the Emperor's sword back, maybe. He's only borrowed it, right? He's going to give it back, right? I didn't end up doing it, right? But one of the ideas for the Emperor was to have his sword by him. And I did think to use the Gilliman, kit and shave the flames off and kind of put it up by the Emperor. But then why did I not go with it again? I don't know whether it would look a little bit goofy, I think. That's why I kind of opted against it. Grey Knights. Yeah, you said Grey Knights, Alpharon. And we might have, we might have a battle report with Grey Knights. Again, it won't be me talking with the battle report. It'll be whoever comes and sets it up and records it. You probably just see me at the intro of the video nervously going like, hi guys, I'm Dan, and I've done this project based on the Golden Throne. These guys are going to do a battle report on it. Also, there's an art to storytelling, so if it's a narrative battle report, you're definitely going to want someone who isn't me doing it. Because I just forget what I'm talking about halfway through, or forget a word that I use daily and, embarrass myself. But we'll get it done. We just got to find the right storyteller. I would keep his sword if I got it. Well, I probably would too. It's a sword that can kill things. So, destroy your soul. So yeah, I'd probably keep that, just in case. Just in case someone threatens me. Don't make me use my Emperor's sword. Wonder what happens if you get nicked by the sword. Like, you just cut yourself pulling it out of the sheath. Does that mean your soul gets destroyed, or do you have to be, like, run through with it? Alpharon, hold on, what do you mean fake Emperor? What is this heresy? Well, Alpharon, have I got a story for you? Basically, John Blanche in an interview talked about the Emperor on the throne not being the actual Emperor. The Emperor on the throne is just a kind of decoy, I guess. It's someone that, it might not even be a someone, it might just be a thing, that the people of the Imperium can worship. That is the face of the Imperium. The true Emperor is kind of out the back somewhere in a tank, like a real mess, kind of held together with pipes and all sorts of Mechanicus gribblies, and that's the true Emperor. Again, I don't know whether that's like the official standpoint from Games Workshop. I think that, again, a lot of thinking going on here. I think that is just kind of what John Blanche envisioned. Because I don't think I've seen it referenced anywhere in, like, the lore. But, yeah, that was the idea. And I felt like kind of paying homage to that and having a room behind the throne up here and having, like, a really, really worse for wear looking Emperor. Like in a stasis tank. Jock, ask Valrak to play with you. Some of his viewers would like your project. Well, I have no preferences. You know, I have no preferences for anyone who wants to play a game on it. Just needs to be someone that you guys find interesting. I don't mind who does it. Could always organise them coming down here and, you know, tidying up the space so they can fit cameras and stuff. But it's just going to be a little while off yet is the thing, because we need to get it all painted. In fact, that has just reminded me, I do need to reply to some messages. From time to time, I get offers on social media. People are like, can you bring the Golden Throne here for a convention or, you know, that kind of thing? And I can't because it's too big, so I can't bring it for a day. If I could, I would, but unfortunately the logistics behind bringing it, even, you know, just somewhere in the UK, it's too difficult just for a convention, so I tend to say no. And I do need to reply to someone that asked me to bring it to France, and I need to politely decline because I can't. As kind as it is to offer to put it on display, I can't bring it to France. Also, guys, that's something I never think to say when I'm actually doing these streams. If you are enjoying the stream, can you stick a like on it? Because it helps me, it helps push it out there, and all that other stuff, basically. I never do that when I do streams. Like, I always forget to be like, oh, could you guys like and comment and all that other stuff. I tend to just get caught up in whatever we're talking about and ramble on. But thank you if you've already done that. I do appreciate it. Let's see. The sword only destroys souls while burning. Well, that makes sense, but you know, you don't want to get caught by it, do you? Because if that sword gets you, you are gone. You are not coming back. You are not being banished to the warp, you are gone. Or for one, the idea of the Emperor being fairly close on the path of being a Chaos God, or the idea that a majority of the Emperor's psychic and emotional will is in the warp, making his true body. What do you mean by that, Ghost Rhino? You might have to elaborate that. I'm sorry, my brain's not quite digesting that. Orpheron, I have already reported you to the Inquisition for this heretical nonsense. You wouldn't be the first one to, Orpheron. There has been quite a few people who have who have not condoned my heresy and have reported me to the Inquisition, but they have yet to turn up. Unfortunately, when you're working on a project like this, a lot of what you're doing is considered heresy. You're depicting the Emperor, you know, you're depicting the Golden Throne. You're talking about putting Alpha Legion in the diorama. You're talking about putting Nurglings in the diorama. You know, it's not good behavior. I would love to play on this amazing diorama. Thank you very much, Big Brain. I know you'd also like to invest in some motors for my gate for me. Ghost Ryan, don't forget about the Sensei and the Star Child. Oh, there is all that stuff. I'm pretty sure the Sensei thing, wasn't that retconned? I swear I watched a video. Was it Luton? Was it Luton talking about that? I mean, is there truly any retcons anyway? I feel like the lore can be quite inconsistent at times. But hey, again, that's probably heresy too. Already liked the video 2 hours ago. Thank you very much, Jock. I know you were here first. You know how I know that? Because you were the first one to comment before the stream started. That's how I know. Still need more cables and less chit chat. I also know that, Jock. I'm not doing a good. I'm not doing a good job today at getting cables painted, but I'm doing a good job at yakking. Oh no, Jock, you're from Germany. Tell me what that bottom comment says, because I can't speak German, and there's no translate button on my phone. You're going to have to let me know. Okay, let's get back to cable painting. Let's do a couple more. I've also been holding up my end of the bargain, I feel like, recently. When we've been finishing the streams, I've been putting up pictures of the progress on Instagram, so I've been doing it. I'm showing you guys that we're making a difference, we're making a dent. Jock, who am I getting confused with then? I know you said you were from Italy, but I thought you were based in South Germany, or is that, oh, that's Frageye, isn't it? God damn it! I'm sorry, Jock. I'm not paying attention. That was Frageye. And he's usually here as well. What's he doing? Why is he not here this evening? He's going to watch this back and be like, uh-oh. No, Frageye's usually here. Frageye and Jock are usually here watching me paint cables. And no, Big Brain, I know you don't speak German, you're Norwegian. But yeah, apologies to Jackie Plow. I can't speak German and I can't translate it for some reason. So I'm just going to go ahead and assume it means I'm doing a good job. So thank you. In other news, talking about... Oh. What's that? Felipe. Look at me stare at my screen. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. I forgot that I've got all these notifications on. I guess I'm just, for the most part, not interesting enough for too many new subscribers. But yes, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. I have lots of videos about this diorama on, on my main page. So if you want to learn more, feel free to give them a watch. I was also going to say, if you want to support the channel, I very rarely do these plugs, you can become a channel member, or you can check out the links underneath this video. They all go towards the project, and they all help a lot. Jock, professionalism. I'm definitely good at professionalism. You've been here for the past 5 streams. I think you've seen the level of professionalism I carry. I've made 2 faux pas this stream. The first was showing off that custody who decided to jump out of my hands and now needs a head replacement. And the second was catching the wet palette with my fat ass when I went to sit down. No, Big Brain, you can't start speaking Norwegian. You know I can't translate it. Alfarone, Frageye 3 hours later. Damn it, the one time I didn't watch and he needed my translation skills. I do, that is actually true though, because Frageye is from Germany. So he could probably translate that. The Michaelathrop, weirdest part about the lore and retcons was classically that everything was presented as in-universe perspectives and therefore inherently unreliable. See, that is something that I actually really like, is the idea that a lot of it is just what you're being told by, the unreliable narrator. You know, I do quite like that. In the same vein, I do enjoy that there is a consistency, and that there are some things that don't change radically. But yeah, it kind of gives you more flexibility when it comes to building things, that the lore isn't 100% rigid, basically. Jock. I saw a lot, but no motors. No motors. Unless I just surprise you at the end of the project by putting in motors and be like, here we go, Jock. Surprise. No motors, but plenty of lights. That's what we're going to have. Plenty of LED lights. Oh, also, my cable's finally turned up. So what I've been able to do today, for those of you who watch these regularly, the small group of you who watch these regularly, I can get better angles of the project now because I've invested in cables that are larger than like yay big. For the longest time, I have been using this tiny little cable that comes with the camera to stream, and it just does not allow me to get any good angles, sort of get any perspective of the project. So now I've got better equipment to work with, which is fantastic. And it was only like a couple of quid for the cable, so yeah, win-win. The Ratmans, it's the guy, it's John Warhammer. That guy up there, our fake emperor can be John Warhammer. I'm just the throne guy. I'm not important. I am. I'm not the emperor. If anything, I would compare myself to like a servitor who just his job is to work on this. You know, a lobotomized servitor who paints cables for hours and hours and hours. I just need the red jumpsuit now. I need some claws and a red jumpsuit. Needs more DACA. I guess so. We do need all our little guys with DACA. I got those. I finally got some of those custodies with the guns. What they're called, the Sagittarium Guard. So that's going to be some DACA for this one. And their guns are pretty big, so it's big DACA too. Jock, wife's calling. Gotta go. Have a nice one. Have a nice one, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us, Jock. I'm sure I will see you again soon. Enjoy your weekend, and congratulations again. Get back to painting cables, Tech Thrall, Michael McAllathrop. I should be. I'm doing a bad job. It seems like this stream has done much better than the usual streams, so that's cool, but also it has distracted me. So what I'm essentially doing here is blaming you guys for a successful stream. I'm like, oh, thank you for joining, but you're the problem. Why are you here? When in fact it's me that's yakking too much and not painting the cables. They are looking good though. I think I'm just going to have to rearrange our setup next time because I've got to do all the ones in the middle and I don't want to stand up in the middle of the stream and start doing these ones. So it's also Friday, so I'm feeling a bit lazy. Alfarone, do you have a set stream schedule? I don't, Alfarone. I am incredibly new to streaming. I did do a few, maybe a year back. I started running a few streams, but they weren't in the studio here. So you couldn't see the Golden Throne. It was just me sat at a desk painting the Emperor or kitbashing or doing whatever I was doing. And I had to stop doing it for a bit. And now I'm back. So I'm just getting my head around sort of streaming, setting up times to do it, and yeah, all the other stuff that comes with it basically. So essentially, no, I don't have a schedule yet. I don't know if I'll have one in the near future because my life and the way in which I work doesn't enable me to be like this, and this. So they'll kind of be as and when. I know that's really not helpful. You can stay up to date by following me on Instagram because that's where I post when I'm going to go live and stuff. Or here with notifications, I guess. But yeah, I'm afraid I don't. Big Brain, the viewership has been great on this stream. It has been cool. It's been nice to have some new people to talk to, and me waffle about the project. It's kind of cool because obviously the more people who join the stream, the more that YouTube tends to push it. So it all helps really. I can tell you guys for a fact though, anyone who's curious about streaming and, the kind of revenue, I guess, behind streaming, for the time being, it's not good. You don't get paid that much to run a stream. You're getting a few pennies from advertising. So I guess that's why people do the whole, like, like the channel membership stuff, is because that's the way that people make money from streaming. But yeah, it's pennies. Not that I'm doing this for income anyway, because this would be a crap way for me to make any income. It's more, like I said, the encouragement to paint stuff and get it done and chat with you guys. It's been pretty successful actually. We've managed to get this section to a better standard, so I'd say they're working, really. I know today is more of a talky one, but for the most part they seem to be working. They're getting me to do what I'm supposed to be doing. Not Twitter, Alpharone. I don't use Twitter. I don't go anywhere near Twitter. I don't go anywhere near Threads either. My handle is @Imperium_Nihilus for Instagram, and I usually post stuff on my story when I'm going to go live. So that's where you can find that information. And YouTube might alert you. I don't really know how the system works now, because some people say that when I put up a video, they're not always notified. But you could try pressing the bell, I suppose. Yes, Big Brain, I get nothing from you and your ad block. I don't suppose I do. But you do keep trying to offer me some motors for 10 grand. So I'll happily take your 10 grand. In all honesty, I don't think it would make too much difference if you didn't have the ad block either. Because I only get pennies, like I said. I think the viewership would have to drastically change to make more than pennies. But anyway, that is not the point. The point is we are here to get a bit of painting done every so often. And as long as that is achieved, we have achieved our goal. It just stops me from procrastinating, which is good. Because when I sit down here, I have no choice but to paint. I can't sit and scroll on my phone. One, because I use it for chat. And two, because you guys would get bored pretty quickly just watching me on my phone. So like I've said, it's also an excuse just to talk about Warhammer, because I don't have anyone here. I have one friend who's into Warhammer and no one else. So I get to talk to you guys about Warhammer, which is great. No, Big Brain, I'm not taking your deal. I'm not taking your deal. Oh, I'm stuttering. But, like I always say, you've been here a while, you can always become a channel member. You can always join the channel. And then you get a nice green name as well, so you'll always stand out. you will be an Imperial citizen. At this time of recording, I have 2 Imperial citizens and I have a custodian. That's my channel members. I have 3 channel members. It is looking good. I will put another picture up this evening once this is done. Obviously it won't be finished done, but it will be like more complete than it was the other day. And the one thing I will have to do this weekend is, I've brought this up on a few streams, is when it gets dark, obviously because the lighting's different, you can't see all the areas that you miss. And with these cables having loads of ridges and gaps and everything, I like to go back in the day and make sure that I pick everything out and basically get any bits that I've missed. Okay. Just followed on Insta, off our own. Well, thank you very much. That's where I post most of my stuff, to be honest. I post like small videos on there and updates. I did, and I do occasionally post on TikTok, but TikTok has kind of changed quite a lot. So I find that Instagram is the best place just to, you know, get everything out there, basically. Big Brain, isn't Patreon more generous with the cut? Yes, it is. Patreon is probably the best place, I would say, if you want to support the channel. Channel memberships are good. You know, they help as well. And also, you know, you get the... I think I've got some perks for YouTube members too. And, yeah, you get like a little green name and a symbol and everything like that. But essentially it all helps. It's just your preference, you know, if you were to join, what you join. But yeah, it all helps at the end of the day. You also do get the benefit on Patreon of posts that don't go up on Instagram. So you can get information before everyone else there. Oh, and that is another thing that I forget, is I do giveaways occasionally on my Patreon too, and no matter what level you join Patreon at, you get entered automatically. And the last giveaway was Inquisitor... What's the new guy with the really weird like bug thing? Croyle. Is it Croyle? Inquisitor Croyle? He was the last giveaway prize. So yeah, you know, you can win things occasionally at no added cost. Noyle. Croyle? Noyle? He's got a strange name. He's a cool looking miniature though. He is. I wish Games Workshop would do a few more Inquisitors. I have Ostromandius sat somewhere. Funny how I can remember that name when arguably it's a weirder name. Ostromandius. He is the Warhammer Plus miniature. Or from last year, I think. Very cool model though. I snapped him up pretty quickly. How long have we been streaming for? This is 10 o'clock. 2.5 hours. It's not bad. I don't know how to spell it. That's okay, Big Brain. It's a weird one. I think we'll do a little bit more. I think we'll do a little bit more and then wrap it up. I made the stupid decision of not eating before streaming. And now my stomach is just making all the noises. This might push some people's buttons as well. But you know what I got sat in the fridge waiting for me? Is ham and pineapple on a pizza. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I know some people hate it. I don't even know why. It's good. I think pineapple works on a pizza. It's also probably a good thing that I brought this up after Jock has left. Because Jock, being Italian, would probably just... It would be scorched earth. But it works. I treat myself after painting these cables. And this is only the first stage, you know. We still got to sort of highlight them and weather them. I think we're going to achieve that with a dry brush, probably. Either a dry brush or just like a really sort of light overbrushing of a grey. And then some of the recesses I'll probably use liquid pigment just to give them a bit of wear and a bit of dust. Because this Golden Throne is not going to be immaculate. You know, we're not going for like... We're going for a kind of in-between stage. You know, we're going for something that's not pristine, but also not left to rot away. I know one person in particular was very disappointed when I said that the throne room floor had chipping and dust and everything, and they were like, no, it's going to be immaculate. You know, the servitors keep it immaculate. And I'm like, no, you know, there's going to be lots going on there. It's going to be ancient technology. It's going to be falling apart. The Mechanicus don't know how to keep everything running. And we kind of know in the lore that the Golden Throne is, or is it the Astronomicon is supposed to be failing? Look at this, I don't even know my own lore. But essentially things are in a downward spiral. So I feel like it reflects that quite well. You know, if I present you this diorama that's just pristine, I feel like that is more akin to 30k and sort of before the heresy. You know, I can imagine things being nice and clean and well kept. And then obviously, since the heresy, things have just gone vastly downhill. Sorry, Alfarone, I'm not getting what you're referencing there, and I'm really sorry. I don't know if that's just because I'm talking at 100 miles an hour and blitzing through everyone. Oliver Brand subscribed. Thank you very much for subscribing. And Helix subscribed. Well, thank you for joining us, guys. We've been streaming for a little while now, but we're just kind of painting cables, trying to get this project to a completed standard or semi-completed standard. And the streams seem to be a good way of me pulling my finger out and actually getting some done, instead of just like being here and getting analysis paralysis and not doing anything. So thank you for subscribing. Also, if you're not a huge fan of live streams, there is quite a few videos on the channel that document building the project and all that other stuff. So feel free to check them out. Michalothrop, don't the servitors leak anyway? Exactly. The servitors aren't even well kept themselves. You know, there's going to be grease on the floor in some places. I've put dust around some of the vents to kind of represent when the psychers are just turned into a powder that keeps the Emperor sustained. You know, I do want it to have the grimdark element of what Warhammer is supposed to be about. You know, it's not going to be, as I said, like a total train wreck, but I do want it to have the miserable elements of the 40k universe. Midbay, a thing of beauty, bud. Thank you very much, Midbay. I'm hoping it'll look much better when we finish painting it as well. Because it's, you know, earlier we talked about how it's about 50% done. You know, I still got loads of painting to do, and we still got to paint all the miniatures to go on it yet. So when I talk about 50%, I'm not even talking about the painted miniatures that are going to sit on this diorama. I'm talking about like 50% of just the Golden Throne. Alfarone, the pineapple pizza. Yeah, see, pineapple pizza is good. Pineapple pizza is underrated, and I feel like it's just internet memery, people complaining about pineapple on a pizza. It's good. Grow up. It's failing. Nobody knows how to fix it. Exactly, Big Brain. So I kind of want to reflect that in the way in which it's painted. And if that means making things a little bit rough and ready, so be it. Obviously, it'll still have the detail in it. You know, we're still going to add all transfers and our edge highlights and all that kind of stuff. But it's going to have a little bit of a rundown feel to it as well. And I feel like we're getting there. I think there's some areas in which I've learned. So obviously one of the things that I'm going back and doing now is edge highlighting, well, select edge highlighting some of the tiles. And it helps just to make them pop, because the areas that don't have that, I think, look a little bit flat. And of course, I could leave it. You know, I could say, what's the point? But we've come this far. The project is this big. Not going to happen again. May as well put the extra effort in, get the detail, and see it done, basically. Don't knock it till you try it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Alfarone. It's good. It's not my favourite type of pizza, but it's a damn good choice. And I was feeling it today. Let's see. Corey, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, Corey. Welcome to the stream. Oh my god. Pyro King, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for joining. It's been a successful stream so far this evening. I was saying that I'd forgotten that I put these notifications on. So yeah, it's cool that you guys are enjoying the project and subscribing to the channel. I have said it before, but you can obviously watch videos about how this was built and the point that we've got to on the main channel page. These streams are just a way of me keeping the momentum going, I suppose, and just making sure we get all the little gribbly bits painted up. I do run them a couple of times a week, the streams, but Friday is a day where I can just kind of chill. There's no sort of obligations for me tomorrow. I can just spend a few hours painting, basically, which is nice because it's been a busy week. It's been a work-filled, busy week, so it's nice to dedicate some time to the project, basically. Are you making it to 42k descriptions or before? Basically, Midbay, what I am doing is aiming for somewhere in between the 41st millennium and the end of the heresy. So specifically, I have kind of imagined this to be a few thousand years after the heresy. So things are starting to go awry, you know. The throne is starting to look a bit decrepit. The religious sort of dogma is starting to seep in and take hold. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going for, is a few thousand years in. So not quite where we are in the current timeline, in the 42nd millennium, is it actually? Yeah, so that's what we're going for. Big Brain, I have watched them all. Thank you very much, Big Brain. It's worth doing if you just want to kind of catch up and see some of the earlier stages of the project. I don't think I started off from the very, very beginning. I feel like I started making videos when it was, you know, somewhat built, but I can't actually remember now. And I haven't even got that many videos on the channel, so that goes to show what my memory's like. And obviously throughout the rest of the build I still do intend to make more videos, but streaming has definitely taken a bit of a front seat. Because it's just a really easy way to keep things going with the project, you know, and encouraging me to work on it. When you have a few people watching you, you can't be sat there making excuses. You can't be like, oh, you know what guys, I don't feel like doing it today. Because I've set up the stream and I've started painting. Right, I've got to clock out, plans for tomorrow and need sleep. Well, Alpharound, thank you very much for joining. It's nice to meet you. And hopefully we'll catch you in a few of the future streams. So, yeah, enjoy your weekend and thank you very much. We've got Big Brain. I hope to see the throne fail. Now, Big Brain, I hope you mean within the lore. I hope you don't mean my painting. I'm putting all this effort in. I don't want to fail. See you later, Alpharoan. Thanks again. Thank you for joining. Alright. What am I doing? I have thought about any future cables that I add, painting them beforehand. Because I've started putting sort of flexi cable. Ooh. Midbay subscribe. Thank you for subscribing, Midbay. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I will get back to my thought that I just completely lost. Hi, did you 3D print this or what? I did not. Akari? I can't pronounce that name. I'm really sorry. I did not. It's essentially one big kit bash. It's made out of probably 100 different kits from Warhammer. Yeah. There's some 3D printed elements. I don't know if you can see the gate section behind me here. That was 3D printed. But for the most part, I wanted it to be a sort of old school, you know, scratch build, kit bash sort of thing. And 3 years later, this is where we're at. I have no obligations, no. Good morning from Oz. 7 a.m. here, so we lose one, gain another. It'll be finished in no time. Thank you for tuning in, Dak and Low. Yeah, it's, what are we here in the UK? We are 10 past 10, so it's getting pretty late here, but good morning. Nothing like a bit of Warhammer to start your day. Bertie, also here from Oz, just stumbled on the live stream as I woke up. Hell of a way to wake up. It's cool to know that you guys wake up and you're like, yeah, I want to check out some Warhammer to start my day. That's what I want. I think that's a good way of starting your day. Unfortunately, I have a really bad habit of looking at the news in the morning, which is not a good way to sort of set the tone for your day, because it's usually just shit news. Nice, thank you. Well, thank you. I'm just going to say Akar. I know that you can there's loads of options now with 3D printing. But one, I don't have access to a 3D printer. The gate section was designed and sent to me by someone else. I don't really have space for a 3D printer, and I also don't think I have the patience to learn how to use it. So this kind of enables me to work within my confines, I guess you could say. Dobrotev, I have an unsolicited Greebly idea for you, if you'll have a think. Rusty rails, locomotive engines, they would look great as detail parts. Do you mean like an actual track, Dobrotev? that could be a cool idea. Uh, Earlier in the stream, we were talking about the projects that I'd like to do after I do this. One of the ones that was brought up was Necromunda. Like, Necromunda is an area of the Warhammer universe that I really enjoy. So I feel like something like that would really benefit in a Necromunda project. I still do have a few more details to add to this project, but I'm not sure whether we're going to have anything that's too big now. So we had someone bring up about flyers earlier today. I'm not sure we're going to have any flyers because I feel like it'll dominate the project too much. It's mostly going to be smaller details from now on, I think. So like cogitators, little greebly bits, maybe some vents. I've seen some nice vents, like 3D printed vents that I quite like the look of. So I might use them. And Big Brain seems to be, he is arguing for a case of motorizing the gates so that they open. But I keep saying there is no point because we're not expanding the project outwards. We can expand backwards, so we can have another room at the back if we wanted to. We could have this sort of secret Emperor chamber, but we can't build sideways because I have no more space. And this room is already pretty big. Canis Rex, the youth back in my day, we subscribed without a personal than you. What, Canis Rex? What do you mean? What do you mean? Dobrtev, no, they are just 3D printed locomotive engine mechanisms. Oh, that's quite cool. Again, the whole 3D printing thing, I'm kind of out of the loop with that. I've seen some pieces online, like, pre-printed pieces that I could use. But mostly I've been trying to use like different kits that I already have. So lots of these pieces that you'll see on the front are from various kits. I've got bits from boarding actions. So all those kind of wall sections. I've got bits from a Baneblade tank. I've got, God, what else we got there? We've got Cities of Death pieces. We've got Void Shield generator pieces, which is, I guess it would be considered splashing out nowadays because the Void Shield generator is expensive when it comes up on eBay. Luckily I had them beforehand. Thank you. Sorry, bad joke. That's okay. It just kind of went over my head, Canis Rex. You probably, you have done nothing wrong. I just... Woof. Also, I've been painting for like 2.5 hours and chatting, so my brain is probably pretty fried. So apologies if I just look like a dumbass. Big Brain, I don't need the gate to go anywhere. I just need it to open. Yeah, but there's no point. You know this. You absolutely know this, Big Brain. Where were we? I keep forgetting the pipe that I'm working on. Bertie, expanding the back with a secret room, like a Custodes coffee room. There could be Custodes having a coffee in there, but it's more likely it's going to house the remains of the real Emperor who is having a worse time than the fake Emperor. We earlier in the stream talked about how John Blanche envisioned that the individual sat on the throne is not actually the real Emperor. The real Emperor is behind closed doors and is like a state, is a right state. And I'm thinking of paying homage to that by making a little room behind the Golden Throne there, something on the same level, probably more Zone Mortalis tiles, maybe a 4x4 section, and then having like a room with maybe a few Custodes and like some, maybe a tech priest, and then a really messed up looking Emperor. But we need to get more painting done. Before we get to that stage, we have to make some leaps forward, I think. Rover Mars Rover, the fumes are getting to him. They are, Rover Mars Rover. They are. I think sometimes if I'm painting for too long and yapping, it just fries my brain. So I start stuttering and being like, Where am I again? Oh, I'm live streaming, that's it. Bertie, rest in peace, John. What a legacy he left to us all. He did, Bertie. He instrumental in, you know, instrumental in the look of Warhammer and the feel of Warhammer, and it is a great loss. We touched on it earlier that it's going to be felt for a long time. Yeah. But, you know, as you say, what he has left us is a wealth to kind of expand on, you know, like potential for ideas and, well, potential for more dioramas in my case. I've already thought of one, which I'm not going to divulge here, but it's another way I was thinking of kind of paying homage. Not as big as this, though, so you guys won't need to wait 3 years to see it done. Yeah, Canis Rex, Amen, huge legacy, huge. Boots that cannot be filled, I would go so far as to say. Midbay, just for the lols, can you add a poof of dust next to the throne? You're not the first person to ask for this. I know where this is going. Add a poof of dust next to the throne where Malcador's soul shat itself to death. It's so funny that you're not the first person to ask for that. There's been a few calls on Instagram, people going, oh yeah, you need the pile of dust, right? You need the pile of dust right next to the golden throne, which is just Malcador, who no one has swept into a dustpan and put in the bin. Dobrotev, I remember in an interview with him back in 2000 or thereabout, and the Emperor is in like a bacteria tank in the back room. Bacteria tank. Bacta tank. See, Dobrotev, that's what I was thinking is kind of, I'm not sure how I'm going to depict him exactly, the Emperor, but I want him to look horrible, basically. And then, yeah, maybe we use some, like, clear resin with a bit of green or something mixed in. And just make a hideous-looking monstrosity, basically. But, you know, again, regressing slightly, we need to make some progress with painting this. Because I do have a habit of starting new projects, new elements of the build before I finish the existing ones, and if that continues to be the case, this thing is never going to get done. And it's going to loom over me till I'm in my 50s. And in the grand scheme of things, that's not too far away, really. So we need to make progress. Ling Ling Ling, K2K, hi, hello, welcome to the stream. We are painting some Warhammer right now. We are painting essentially one big Warhammer. Rover Mars Rover, that's the Holy Dustial Mound, sweeping it as the highest of heresies. What, do you reckon it has like a red rope around it and it's just there now? A little plaque that says Malcador. Maybe I should design a little servitor with a Henry the Hoover to just kind of come and clean him up. He's been there long enough. IKEA chair and a skeleton. We could do that. I actually picked up a massive, what is it? I don't know what scale it is, but it's this like Airfix skeleton. I think it's about 12 inches, maybe. I could use that. Just a massive, massive skeleton as the Emperor. Green stuff. Yeah, green stuff corpse would be good, Dobrotev. It's just my ability. Because obviously, like, there's only so much I can do. I'm not a magnificently talented sculptor. So I kind of have to, like, again, work within my confines. It'd be more of a case of possibly getting someone to 3D print me some parts. Or kitbashing. But the UV resin is a good call, though. I probably would use some kind of UV resin to, for the liquid, basically. I've got plenty of time to think about it while I finish this, anyway. I don't want to start anything too soon and jump the gun. I want to give this the attention it needs first, and then we will move on to it. And then at some stage when Games Workshop makes us the plastic Warhound Titan, we'll have 2 of those on it too. Dobbertab, I think you can. Them, they're zombies? You want about using zombie parts? Big Brain, I have an FDM printer. You know, I do wonder sometimes whether I should invest in a printer, but I worry about the time that I would need to spend on getting it right, because it's like a hobby within a hobby. You know, I have to learn how to use it. I have to buy more materials to use it. I think some of them, don't they need like quite good ventilation as well? So I'd need to sort all of that out. Bertie, I mean, if you're adding a Hoover servitor for the dust, you probably also need a payphone still sitting off the hook after Magnus's 0800 reverse call. Or just the bottom of a payphone, and the rest is just obliterated. Do you know what none of you have mentioned this stream, which is surprising, is usually it gets brought up, is the webway gate. No one has been like, oh, where's the webway gate? Because that doesn't exist yet. It doesn't exist on this build yet. Oh, I wish I'd made this bigger so I could read it. The Manda. Oh, I missed that. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. Feel free to pop up in chat since I butchered your name when it came up on the screen there. We are talking everything Golden Throne related and trying to paint cables. I'll be honest and tell you that for the most part there's not many cables being painted and there's a lot of talking being done. Been a very successful stream though. I'm just not getting as much done as I usually do. Too busy talking about my interest in the hobby. Big Brain is only here for a working gate. That's the only reason he's been on the past 5 streams, is he just wants to see motors on that gate, and when he does, he's going to stop following. He's going to unsubscribe and go elsewhere. Bertie, but Nihilus, where's the webway gate? Well, Bertie, we haven't built it yet. And, yeah, do you know, if I'm honest, I'm not even sure how I'm going to do it. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I'm not sure it's going to get done. I suppose the only other way I could add a webway gate is doing what I have done here with these wall sections on the other side. I could probably make it wider and then depict a webway gate on that side. But I feel like, man, we are really pushing it, you know. This thing already is a monster. It is an absolute monster, and I feel like making it bigger, we're just gonna make a rod for our own back. Alex, I would love a 3D printer, but I also know it would spin off. Now I can just do this and that. Yeah, that's the thing. There's always the potential to just like start printing things and get easily distracted. And that's already difficult for me because it's so easily done. I feel like I would just start printing pieces off for like Necromunda side projects. I don't know if all of you guys were here, but earlier on the stream I showed off my kind of Ash Wastes Necromunda little project that I've been working on. And, you know, if I had access to a 3D printer, I'd probably just start, you know, printing things for that. I wouldn't intentionally mean to do it, but I just know it would happen. I'd end up on, what's that website? What's the one where you get all the 3D designs? I'd be on there and I'd be like, that'd look good, that'd look good. I'd be like, oh yeah, but I've got to finish this project. The Macellothrop, just remember you're going to have a payphone. You need public phone sanitation inspectors. I don't know if we're going to have any sanitation inspectors in the throne room. I think the closest thing for that's going to be tech priests, I guess. I don't think they're too interested in sanitation. They're just keeping the servitors in line, making sure they're not malfunctioning. Big Brain, if you want to make it bigger, you can punch a hole in the wall. No, Big Brain, because then we'd be building outside. We'd be building on property that isn't mine. I don't think the neighbours would appreciate me expanding my golden throne to their land. They'd be disappointed. I also don't think they're fans of Warhammer. All this talk of making it bigger is already dangerous. It is. We're treading on ice here, guys. Thin ice. It was brought up earlier that I have a video on my channel which is Space Marine 2 inspired project that I started and just haven't gone back to. And I think the ambitions for that project were pretty big, to kind of make a little Warhammer City thing. So yeah, I got to make sure that I stay on track here and actually get this done. Otherwise we're going to end up with like loads of half-started, unfinished projects, and that's not fun. As much as my brain likes working on new things. You don't own the land outside? I don't own the land outside behind the gate. Big Brain, that's not mine. Just don't scroll down when you're on the toilet. What? The McKellathrop, what if the Webway gate was built down from the ceiling? That would be mental. That would be absolutely mental. Do you know, that's one of the things that I can't kind of imagine how I'm going to do it. The Webway gate is something that I've never really been able to imagine, as daft as that might sound. Like when it comes to the Golden Throne and the Emperor and everything, I kind of have an idea of what they would look like. So even though this piece is inspired by Neil Roberts' art, you know, I still kind of have an idea of what it looks like. But the Webway gate, I don't know how I would depict it, you know? I don't know how techie I would want it to look. I don't know if I'd want it to look almost like Eldar-ish. Canis Rex, you have a spectacular project and put together a lovely stream. I have to go for now, but your hobbying is an inspiration. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining us, Canis Rex. It's always cool to have a new face here. Hopefully, we'll see you in another stream in the future. I've had quite a few new faces this evening, which is always cool. It's been the most successful stream that I've run in the past 2 weeks. So thank you to everyone who has swung by and just listened to me talk non-stop. I've been talking for 2.5 hours. Much to the detriment of the project, by the looks of things, since I'd say we're just about crossing the double-digit mark for actually getting these cables painted. I also needed to give this thing a good dust down before I started painting these things. Because one thing you might not realise is that when you have a project this big, and you're working on it for this long, is it tends to get a little bit dusty, so you have to make sure before you paint anything to give it a sort of light brush over and a good clean. So This is one of the things that happens when you're storing something for a long time. It does get a little bit dusty. But it's easily remedied with just a little light brush. Midbay, are you... Am I going to put arches on top of the bottom section that you are doing there? That is a good question, Midbay. It was... Well, let me see. How do I answer this? I want to say yes. I did have a go a while... Well, yeah, a while ago now, actually. I tried to sort of design some arches for the front of it using plasticard and some little greebly pieces, basically. And I'd done a few sections, but I didn't like the way that they looked. They looked too janky. So I think what I want to do now is paint this to a decent standard, and then potentially get some like 3D prints, basically. So I might see about getting something designed arch-wise and then sticking it on the front, just so it's all in keeping and it doesn't look too janky and out of place. Because like I've said before, I only have a certain amount of skills, so I kind of have to work within these confines, and sometimes that involves me finding shortcuts to a certain degree. The same kind of applies with the gate behind me that Frankie designed for me. Is I didn't have a way... I knew I wanted a gate, basically, but I didn't have a way of doing that myself and designing it myself that would lift up the project, I guess you could say. And what my worry was creating something that brought the quality of the project down. So, in the same vein, what I want to do is have these arches look like they fit. So I'm going to see if I can get some designed and printed, possibly. But again, we don't need to look at that straight away. We need to get the detail done, and then we can approach that. Would the webway gate look like a gate on a craft world? Well, see, that's the thing, Big Brain. I don't know whether I can slightly imagine it as being like an Eldari sort of design. I don't feel like it would be as crude and brutal as a lot of the Imperium, not just architecture, but machinery. I feel like it would be a bit more refined, the webway gate. So, yeah, possibly. What else do we have here? The Macellothrop. In a lot of fiction, they are described as using stone or bone obelisks. You could also have it under the Golden Throne, make a whole sub-level board to go on the floor. That is an interesting... Pardon me? That is an interesting point. I could do something like that, couldn't I? I could also... you give me ideas here. I could also have, like, the hidden room behind and then do it underneath there. So make it, like, one tall section. But... yeah, either that or on the side, but we'll see. No decisions have been made, so. Rover Mars Rover, random question. If you could bring back any Primarch, not including the dead ones, Sanguinius or Manus, who would you pick? Who would I bring back? I feel like I know who's coming back. I feel like if I was going to take a guess at who's coming back, I'd guess it was Peter Turbo. Peter Arvo. Who would I want to come back, though? See, I'm really thinking about this one, because I don't want to give a throwaway answer. I genuinely want to think about who I would like to see back. Who else have we still got that's loyal? Maybe Dawn? Maybe Dawn? Because I feel like with his disappearance and the hand and everything, you could bring him back and make him look quite grisly and give him a nice metal hand. Yeah. Yeah, I think Dorn would be an interesting one. I'd like to see what they do with his like plastic Primarch model. As a little side tangent, I feel like I kind of prefer the Forge World Primarchs to the new plastic ones. I feel like they're a little bit more gritty, but yeah, that's just how I feel about it. Doesn't make it true. Uh, Bertie, I mean, you could think of the Webway Gate in the same vein as a servitor, the bone scaffolding in an Aeldari style, and then the gold wiring hacked into it to repurpose. Yeah, that could work as well. That could work quite well, Bertie, having like a clash of the styles, like clearly ancient technology with crude imperial technology on top of it. Yeah, that's a good shout actually. That could definitely work. Uh, Rover Mars Rover, I'd love a crazy warp bird monster Korax to make one appearance. That would be cool. Actually, that is a very good call, Korax. I don't know why, but I feel like I've always kind of overlooked the Raven Guard, and I don't know whether that's just me or whether it's one of those chapters that maybe doesn't have as much of a like engaging theme as some of the others. Mikester88, just wanted to say hi and happy Midsummer's Eve from Sweden. First stream, but followed the project for a long time. Well, thank you very much for joining the stream, Mikester. We've been going for a little while here. We've also started running these streams a little bit more regularly, just to kind of keep it going. You might have heard all that, so apologies if you're hearing the same thing over and over again. But yeah, there's going to be more of these. We're just kind of... It's a good way to chip away at the project and also just talk about Warhammer stuff and hang out, really. You know, you can have me chatting my ass off in the background while you're getting some hobby done. Big Brain, I have two goals in your streams. Distract you and get you to put motors on a gate. Well, you're doing really good at the first one, Big Brain. You have been doing really good. I'd say you've got 5 hours worth of good distracting in on the past streams. We'll have to get you a little badge for that, I reckon, Big Brain. Alex, speaking of John Blanche's incredible renderings, one comes to mind, the sister. The white hair, it could be a little bit more saucy then. She reminds me of Debbie Harry, Blondie. That is an iconic piece of work. That is a very iconic piece of work. One of the things that I'm drawn to in that specific piece is the like ecclesiarchy guys behind her as well. Because there's so many interesting looking characters, some of which they've used for the new Kill Team miniatures, the ecclesiarchal. What are they called? We talked about this on last stream, and you would have thought I would remember the goddamn name of them, but I don't. Anyway, those little characters, I think some of them are going to look good in this project, so I tend to like look at them every time I see that piece. Bertie, can't wait for Peter Turbo's arrival. I am kind of looking forward to that, Bertie. I think they're going to do him justice, and I have a feeling he's going to look really cool. Again, as much as I'm looking forward to him, I don't think I'm going to pick him up, because I've got too many miniatures. We've talked about this before. You guys can't see it because you're only pointed at this, but this room has loads of boxes of miniatures that are probably going to stay that way for the foreseeable future. So I've kind of made the decision not to invest in any miniatures that I'm not going to paint. At least not till this is done. Rover Mars Rover, don't beef with Peter T. Would print money for GW. He would. And they've kind of made that Iron Warriors sort of investment, haven't they? That they're kind of given the... what are they? What are they called now? The little conversion kits you can get for Iron Warriors. So the kind of writing is on the wall, I think. They also released a piece of artwork with what looks like a demon Primarch Perturabo in. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. Ling Ling Ling, what do you think would have happened if Gilliman arrived on Terra during the final hours of the Horus Heresy? Like before the Emperor... before the Emperor died. Well, died. I'm not sure. The thing is, this things still could have happened the way they happened, but yeah, I don't know. It's something that I haven't really thought about, if I'm honest, Ling Ling. Um, yeah, it's an interesting idea though. But honestly, it's anyone's speculation what would have happened. Maybe the Emperor would still be moving around. Maybe chaos wouldn't be as powerful. Let's see, Mid-Bay. Multiple loyal legions didn't make it to Terra in time. Big E would have been able to devise a proper plan before teleporting to the Vengeful Spirit. Yeah, I mean, that's a good call, Mid-Bay. You could also argue, though, I don't know, that there was a bit more going on there, potentially. Again, this could just be in my head, but I feel like the Emperor being betrayed by his favourite son, there's, there's some more emotions going on there. So you could say that maybe he was always going to board the Vengeful Spirit and run Horus through and then end up in the Golden Throne. It might not have changed too much in the grand scheme of things. There we go. The Mykelothrop got it. The upgrade sprues. Again, that's what happens when you stream for like over 2 hours. Your brain just turns to mush, and you can't think of the words for things. And that's what's happened. So it's been a successful stream, but it's also been, I've broken a custody, I've knocked the paint tray off the desk, and I keep forgetting my words. Bit of balance there, I guess. Take the good with the bad. I'm happy with the direction it's heading, though. I am very happy with the direction it's heading. TP is an abbreviation for teleportation. See, I'm still learning. Teleportation. Yeah, but again, going back to that question, I still don't think, things could have played out exactly the same. The Emperor still could have ended up where he ended up, but maybe, I don't know, maybe Guilliman would kind of reign in his stead and take control of the important decisions the Imperium makes. Maybe he could have ended up the same way as Sanguinius. Maybe he could have tried to defend the Emperor and have been run through himself. We don't know. Also remember that the warfare with fortresses and soldiers and jewels was only one level on which the conflict was happening. Exactly that. Exactly that. There was a lot going on. Okay, what do we think? Do we do a couple more? What's the time now? It's 20 to 11 here, so we've been streaming for a good while. We have. This is probably the longest stream to date. Maybe we add one more cable and then we call it for this evening. As good as this stream has been, it's been awesome to have the company. It has. And obviously we'll run some more in the future. I'll try and give some advance notice wherever I can. Fridays seem to be a pretty good day. Maybe Sundays? I did a Monday stream this week, and I just don't think, I don't think anyone enjoys Mondays. I feel like Monday is probably the worst day to do a stream. Most of the problems in the stream is linked to Big Brain. I don't know about that, Big Brain. You're not that bad. You're a distraction. You keep me distracted from painting, so you're fulfilling your mission there. But, you're not so bad. I think mostly it's my brain that does makes all the mistakes. It's nice to have some of you who are here for the first time watching the stream. It feels like this one got pushed out there a little bit more. I don't know whether that was to do with the thumbnail. I decided today to use a thumbnail of the actual project. In the past, I've been kind of using pictures from like the Armageddon trailer, kind of stills from that. But I think, you guys kind of just want to see the actual throne. So, yeah, I might just use pictures of the project in future. Big brain. The broken mini is your fault. Well, kind of big brain, but also I have a case of sausage fingers. So it jumped out my sausage fingers and obliterated itself on the floor. And it's not even that, it's not a huge fix. All I got to do is replace his head. So, yeah, really not the end of the world. But you're kind of to blame, so yeah. All in approval? Aye. The thumbnail hooked me. That's good to know, Bertie. I think I'll probably just start using proper thumbnails. The ones that I used in the past, I do think they're really cool, because the Armageddon trailer is awesome. Fantastic trailer. Love it. 10 out of 10. But maybe it makes you guys more aware of what's going on, So I think that's what we're going to do. Is use some proper thumbnails. Because what I definitely do not want to do is use like, I don't know, gaudy AI ones, I suppose. And it doesn't mean, like I'll be honest with you, I've used like AI stuff in the past for like some thumbnails, but I don't think it's the way forward, if I'm honest. It's also terrible for the environment, so we're going to give that one a miss. Bertie, the scale immediately made me go, ooh. Yeah, it's pretty big. It is pretty big. It's conveying that scale can be a bit difficult sometimes. But, if it comes across in the thumbnails, that is good. I have fixed my Eldar minis many times. It just happens. It's the nature of building miniatures, isn't it? They break sometimes and you have to fix them. It just so happened that this one was on stream and it popped out my fingers. And after the stream is finished, I will take a look for his ponytail, which kind of disappeared into the warp. And I'll get him fixed. Yeah, speaking only personally, the gaudy AI one would have made me run the opposite direction. Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? You tend to brush past the AI ones, which is completely understandable. And I don't think it's the right way to go. I think, personally, I think my opinion on it has changed. I don't like it. I don't like it in creative spaces. I think it has the potential for, maybe other applications like science and benefiting us in other ways. But in terms of creativity, I think it's not welcome. We'll try not to get too into the minutiae of that, but yeah, that's the way I feel about it. Yeah. Now, guys, I am thinking that I'm going to round up the stream there. I think I've had enough of painting cables for this evening, but I do want to thank you all for joining. It has been fun. It has been a cool way to spend a Friday evening. If you enjoyed the stream and you want to join more, I'll put up on Instagram when I run them. If you want to become a channel member and support the channel that way, I have memberships. I also have Patreon and all the other stuff. So if you are interested, I've got links in the description of this video. Yeah, other than that, I really appreciate you guys joining me. You can tell I'm getting tired now because I'm really messing it up. Big Brain, I liked AI before the LL boom. I don't know too much about that, Big Brain, but I do know that yeah, it's definitely not for me. Mycalothrop, do you have a macro lens? If so, what about the ground level pictures from within the diorama environment? I don't, Mycalothrop, but what I do is I will. The iPhone's pretty good. That's what I use for the thumbnails. So I'll just try and take some interesting ones with that. See you later, Rover Mars Rover. Bertie, thank you for joining, Bertie. That is really cool. That's made my evening. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been awesome hanging out with you guys. I hope you have a great start to the day, Bertie, guys in Oz. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will catch you guys in the next